Black Oni.
You're now listening to the Black Oni podcast.
Ooh, blah, blah. There we go. There we go. That's good. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. Starting a little bit later than we usually do it, but beyond that, I'm really excited for today's show for a number of reasons. We have Shadosha, an audio lover, joining us once again for today's show. I'm really excited because we always have a great time. And B, we get to talk a little nerdier than usual because we're going to be talking not just about games, but we're going to be talking about collectibles, which is something I'm really passionate about. And we have Todd Johnson from Spec Fiction Shop here to give us some more information about the hobby and about what he does and about this world. So,
thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
Excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. Before we get into our icebreaker, the audio lover, can you give people at home the lowdown on who you are and what you do?
What's up, everyone? I'm the living organism vibrantly expressing reality, the audio lover. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter at the audio lover. I do GTA content as well as sci-fi content, specifically Stargate. So definitely check me out if you're into sci-fi, if you're into GTA, if you're into gaming. I'm definitely where you want to be at.
Love it. I'm gonna turn you up just a little bit. In terms of, can you talk again real quick, audio lover?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
I turned you up a little bit.
Actually, no. Turn me down.
Uh-oh.
It might have been me. It might have been me.
I turned
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I turned you all the way up on my end, so I was like, oh.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'm realizing. I think I had my gain all the way down.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
That's why I was like, wait a minute.
Listen,
Windows doing that thing again, man. It's crazy.
I'm the living organism vibrantly expressing reality, known as the audio lover. You can find me on Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter at the audio lover, all one word. I do GTA content. I do sci-fi content, Stargate, as well as all things that deal with PlayStation. So definitely check me out at the audio lover.
Love it. Shadosha, what about you?
So my game was a little messed up. I'm gonna speak quietly for a moment. Just make sure I'm turned down. I don't want to blow nobody's ears off. We good?
Listen, I'm gonna turn you down a little bit.
Okay, cool. I just had to turn it back up, so it's all good. But anyway, I'm Shadosha, former pro player, pro gamer, turned community manager. So we might get a little extra today, so I'm not gonna say where I work right now. You just have to find it out and Google me. But yes, if you're looking for me, I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/Shadosha. Also, just go to Evo this year. If anyone's into fighting games, go to Evo. You'll see me there.
Yeah.
My game is there, so I gotta bully some more people. A lot of people coming in from the country. Gotta remind them, you know what I mean? That's it. That's all.
What's your game, man? What's your game?
Virtual fighter. I'm the talk of America still, which is crazy. As many players have come in. Mm-hmm. You'd think somebody would dethrone me, but no, still the best.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Gotta do it. I got 10 years of that. Yeah.
That's amazing. And what about you, Todd? Spec Fiction Shop.
What's up? I'm Todd. You guys are really good at self-promoting yourself. Oh my God. I have to follow these guys. I just own a collectibles website. I've been collecting statues for a long time, and I made my passion my career. So I'm fortunate, to do that. It's that's cool, I guess. I love it. I love what I do, and again, I'm fortunate to be able to have a career in what I'm most passionate about, which is this crazy statue hobby, which is kind of insane. And we'll talk about it and you'll realize why it's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
So yeah.
We're going to get to learn all about the little U, the big U, and all of the
All right, yeah.
in between phases of that. And also we'll get right into our icebreaker.
Okay.
Which is, well, before we do that, where can people find your shop?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, I'm bad at this. Specfictionshop.com. So can we put like a thing or whatever like down there? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll put like a link, but it's
yeah, we got you.
yeah, it's specfictionshop.com. Any collectibles, statues, Marvel, DC, movie stuff, video game stuff. I think there is a Virtua Fighter statue.
Ooh,
Maybe there's King of Fighters.
I'm on the site right now.
Yeah.
Let me find out.
There's Dark Side. I'm not 100%, but I think there is one like Virtua Fighter statue. So
It's probably a Kira or a Pie. I'm willing to bet. I haven't even gone on the site yet. I'm just flipping a coin. I'll let you know what I see.
I hope there is one. because
Akira
I don't
Pie,
want to disappoint
100%. Yeah. You know,
Who's
it,
thinking first? I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Oh,
happy.
dude, I don't think we
Yes.
do actually.
dude,
All
there-
right,
Well,
no worries.
no.
I got put
yeah, we
onto
don't.
your shop
Sorry.
through the Morgan piece, and I think
Oh yeah. Okay.
Mufizal, I think he was the one who coordinated. I think I do have a piece from your shop that was the Morgan, and it was the artist proof version of it.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I think
For sure.
it was done through him to your website years ago, and
like he recommended my website.
I believe
Mufizal?
so. Yeah,
Oh wow. Okay. Cool.
yeah,
Mufizal is like an amazing sculptor.
yes.
For those that don't know, one of the best sculptors in the game right now. Super crazy stuff.
I totally
Uh,
agree.
So you have the Morgan statue?
Yes, it's in storage again. So all that
Okay,
stuff, like this room's gonna look really crazy because we had to buy stuff while we were here because we thought the house was gonna be ready earlier, and it's gonna be ready much later than we anticipated. So we're gonna have all that stuff sent here. It's gonna be boxes on couches, on beds. It's gonna look really crazy in here. But once we get set up in the house, it's gonna look hopefully as nice as your display back there looks.
I think it's a beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm already getting ahead of myself.
Yep.
What was the first thing that you collected? Not the first. What is something that you collected as a child, and do you still collect it? And,
Okay, so I mean, like, I think it was pretty standard. I collected like Ninja Turtles, but I don't know if I would say I collected them when I was that young. I was buying them and playing with them,
yes.
and that was probably like maybe like third grade, fourth grade, like kindergarten through fourth grade, right? And then in fifth grade, there was like this auction at my elementary school, and there was two like rare Star Wars A New Hope, like the Kenner ones, they're like the orange card ones,
Yes.
maybe, but they were like the ones in the 90s, right? Early 90s.
Yeah.
They were on auction, and I was like, Mom, like I need those. And and we won the auction, and it was kind of a weird thing, but like I had no urge to like open it and play with it. I was like, no, I'm gonna keep these in the box and kind of just, I don't know, look at them in their boxes and just kind of like just admire them that way, right?
Yeah.
And that was like the first time that it was kind of like a transition from playing with toys and collecting toys, right?
Mhm.
And it's kind of like, I mean, that's kind of the natural progression of a collector. I feel like, like once you're like, no, let's keep it mint and sealed box. That's good. We don't need to play with it anymore. It's just as fun.
Yeah.
That's when you start getting weird. That's when you start getting like, really nerdy and like, what are you doing? Like, why are you buying these? That's weird. So yeah, I mean, I had those. Then I bought a bunch more at like Toys R Us, and I probably had maybe like 150 to 200 of these Star Wars figures that I collected, sixth grade, seventh grade. I can't really remember, because seventh grade is when you kind of like don't want to tell people you're like a nerd. You kind of want to be like cooler,
Yeah.
So like I did have like other hobbies, like I did like BMX biking and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I do remember that I bought, I had this Power Ranger Megazord, giant, huge box, right?
Yes.
But I was embarrassed. I don't remember how old it was, but I think it was sixth grade, seventh grade. and I was embarrassed. Like I did not want to show my friends, but I had it and I loved it.
Yeah.
And I kept it in the box under my bed. And like it was just like my secret. And like and basically no one ever knew that. And I just had that for a really long time. I don't even remember what happened to it. But so that was like another weird thing where like another phase of collecting where you're kind of like ashamed of it in a way, you know?
A little
and you're
bit.
kind of like, oh God, no one could know. You know, I do this. It's so stupid. But yeah, so the answer is like, what was the question again? Like I kind of went off on a tangent here.
So this is
perfect answer. Well, you got to ask it like that again. Oh, yeah.
yes.
That's passion.
But
Right
I mean,
there.
like I don't collect. Okay, the answer is I guess I don't collect. I don't really collect figures in the boxes really anymore. I think I still have a few that I had since I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really buy them anymore. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the answer to that. I collected Pogs too. Did you guys
Okay.
collect Pogs?
Oh, yeah, I remember Paul.
All right, yeah.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yo, that was
Yeah, dude. I still have my Pogs, dude.
bringing
I
it
have them.
back.
Yeah, yeah. I'm old. I'm probably older than you guys, but yeah.
Maybe.
We'll
So-
find out later. Yeah, don't
Yeah,
worry about
right.
it.
You can tell us as much as you want.
It's a big shock right there. I like it.
Yeah. So I don't collect really the same stuff that I did when I was that young, but I
Mhm.
still have that same kind of, it's the same thing. It's just like now I can buy my own stuff.
Right.
You want to buy cooler stuff. When I was a kid, I could only buy like a $5 thing because
That's all you
I had no
had.
job. I had no money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah. What about you guys? Did you guys collect toys? Did you guys play with toys? Did you, or not really, more like video games?
I'm jumping
Yes.
in on this one because I'm hyped right
Okay.
now. I used to collect a little bit, not intentionally. Like I feel like I stumbled on it the same way you might have done so, right? For me, it started with yo-yos and Pokemon cards, right? Those are the things like that were
Yo-yos.
around because like that was the cool thing at the time.
Yes.
And when you were a kid, at that point, you just want to one up them. Like, oh, you got this yo-yo. Oh, I got that one too. Oh, I got this one. Ooh, it's got lights on it. All that stuff, which was cool. And I remember doing that. And it wasn't until I learned about the value of some of these things that I kind of had a different approach to it. Like, I didn't really get into it to make money. I guess I just stopped being as rough on the items. Like, for example, I was one of the people that had a Charizard. The holographic Charizard, that Pokemon card. So your mouth lit up. Yeah, I gave that away
so
for
bad.
Vaporeon.
For a what?
Vaporeon.
You traded it for Vaporeon, you
Yeah,
said?
I was a kid. I didn't know. I just
Sure.
thought the Vaporeon looked so cool, and I just wanted the cooler looking card. Charizard didn't do it for me. Then I learned about later on the value of the season 1 holographic. Oh, it was woo.
Bro, the fire breathing
Yeah.
dragon didn't do it for you?
No, that wasn't my thing. I like the cool little fish dog. It was weird to me. I don't know why. I just really like the cool little fish dog because I traded it in, and that was that on that. I took care of that card. I treated it like it was something precious. It meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And then later on down the line, I learned about the value of just trade-ins in general. To add to that, I wasn't always a person that had money, so like I had a Dreamcast with bootleg games on it. So one of mine was Sonic Adventure. What is it? 1 or 2 where you can raise the little chows and stuff like that.
It might have been in 2 as well, but I remember in 1.
2. But yeah, okay. So in 1, but that was a kind of collection thing that I did. You can breed and make specific like exotic rare chows.
Yeah.
And collect those and put them in different groups and have one of a kinds and all of that cool stuff.
That was so wild.
You had to do a lot to actually make that happen. There was a lot of breeding and yada yada that took place. And for me, that was then again a digital version. I don't do it anymore, obviously, because I don't have my VMU. But yeah, I did that and was so proud to have collected that and all that fun stuff. It was cool, man. That was my early days of collection. That's how I learned about stuff like that.
Yeah. What about you, Audio Lover?
Collecting. I did some toys. I did do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was way young, but I think like for me, really collecting was music. And it was like when, and it really wasn't the cassettes. I still was part of the cassettes, but like I remember when CDs were coming out, and I was like, yo, I had to get certain CDs, and I kept like, I would hate, I don't know about you guys, but I would hate when my like case would crack.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
And I would collect so many CDs. Like, I remember till this day, I still have at my mom's house a drawer with and I'm from down south, so I have like, you know, Trick Daddy and a couple of
Yang
Two Live
Twins.
Crews, right? Like, I got a couple of those. I still have the collector edition Crunk Juice with the DVD.
Oh,
Real talk.
Still probably crazy valuable. I don't know.
Right.
I still have all the G units with the DVDs in them.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Got
Big
all
like,
the-
yeah, like with the Young Buck. Yo, I have DJ Khaled's first and only mixtape,
Yeah.
where
Wow.
it was where I had to go to the flea market to get it before DJ Khaled blew up.
Yeah, he's showing up
Before
the
the
Florida
whole-
side right here. I like this. I'm rolling.
Like before he blew up, right? Like, I have all those where he has Timbaland and Scott Storch. And you probably could find this on YouTube. Maybe like some of those tracks are very rare to even to have.
For
Right.
sure.
So like that was my thing to collect, was like music. Like, yeah, you know, the audio lover and lover is living organism, vibrantly expressing reality. But like, I really do love like music, and like I still purchase CDs till this day if a CD is available. I know it sounds crazy, but
No, I like that.
Yeah.
the last CD I purchased was Nipsey Hussle before, like, when that first came out. And yo, I remember putting it in. Like, it's something different still to this day, listening to an album that you purchase
Yeah,
versus streaming it.
I agree.
If you have the ability and like the anticipation of, you know, listening to that album, like buying it, because you don't know what you're gonna get,
Right.
right? I always feel like you know, like there's a level of like, yo, if you
Suspense.
stream it and it's bad, it's like, it's bad,
Right. It's just,
But if you
it's
buy
a
it,
dinner plate or something. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, but if you buy it and it's bad, you're like, damn.
Yeah. You feel like it's like, oh, this is sitting
Right?
here. Like, what I'm gonna do with this case, bro?
Yeah.
It's like
But
that
if
with
you buy it
anything,
and
really.
it's good, and it's like, oh man, like there's a different level, and it's like, yeah. So I want to start getting into my money wasn't right for a long time. Like, now my money's getting a little bit better. So like, I want to get into vinyl collecting. Like, that's like my
Yeah.
next evolution into like collecting music.
That takes up a lot of space. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah.
It does. It does. I know.
Oh,
So like,
yeah.
Oh, you're
You're
muted.
muted. I can't hear you. You can't hear you. Sorry. It's all good.
You're still
Uh-oh.
muted. You know,
Oh, you done broke something.
Windows has been doing some real weird stuff. I tried to stream what was it, yesterday or the day before?
Uh-huh.
And I had all kinds of issues, bro. Like,
Yeah.
my GoXLR software
Still can't hear
like bugged and it completely cut up. I hope I didn't like press something and mute him.
I hope you didn't press. Yeah. Hold on. Let's make sure he didn't do something.
Listen, I'm always at fault no matter what happens. So like, it ain't even no thing but a chicken wing. It's just another day.
We'll get it fixed.
I promise you, he'd even press anything.
Okay.
Like,
All
he
right,
just
cool.
he didn't press nothing. I'm sure he didn't.
So wait, so did you because this was my thing. You brought up music. Did you do I was big on singles. Did you collect singles by any chance?
I
did.
Okay. I mean, I asked that
I
question because my stepfather was a DJ, and so he would bring home a lot of singles, and I kept a lot of those. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
So that was hard to come. I didn't realize how difficult it was to come by a single like that, like on vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Try talking, Todd. Nope.
Uh-oh.
Nope.
Hold up.
It ain't a stream and it ain't a production until something like this goes wrong. So
Yeah, this
don't
is for sure.
feel-
Welcome to Twitch.
I've seen like professional productions from like billion-dollar companies, like people talking to each other couldn't hear each other, but everyone else could hear each other. I've seen it all. So
Yeah, I was gonna say you might have to turn it off and turn it back on again. That's what I do with this microphone all the time. Okay, wait. I see my microphone on the symbol thing. So
Now?
yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, we can hear you.
All
now.
right.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you. No, I was getting like you were speaking to me because
Yeah.
like the music thing. That's aside from statues, it's all music for me. Like all like down here in these drawers, that's all vinyl. That's all record.
Oh, that's
all my records.
amazing.
Woo!
Yeah. I got the CDs. I got the tapes still. I still buy tapes. I buy it all. It is like a ritual, you know, when you actually have a physical thing that you're spinning vinyl or you're putting in the CD. It's a ritual, and it is. And then like, you know, like you play the album all the way through,
Right.
which to me, like a lot of people don't do anymore.
Right.
And it's kind of, I mean, it's fine, but it's a little sad as well.
Yeah.
Because there's something about playing the album all the way through, like
Right. A body of work.
Yeah.
exactly. Like it's so a lot of artists make it so you're supposed to listen to it from track 1 to track 12 or whatever.
Right. Sequencing is important.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like it's telling a story in a sense. So yeah, I was vibing when you were talking about that.
So it's crazy because like you said cassette tapes, right? And like cassette tapes, while I never had the ability to legitimately like collect cassette tapes, there are a few that I always wanted to collect. Obviously in the hip hop realm, one of them is, the Raekwon, the Purple tape, right?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Like-
Only made for Cuban links.
Yo, like
Oh yes.
if I
And
could ever.
So that's like a big grail for you, kind
Yeah,
of. Like
but
and it's hard to find.
yes, but like the one thing I always missed about like, and I am always envious and will probably never get that again, and it was just so prevalent in the cassette tape era, were the bonus tracks all the way at the end. Because you did it, because it was always just, whatever track, like for instance, the Blueprint album, right? Track 12 is the Mama track, and then you have 3 tracks after that. But like on CD, you could tell, like based on the length of that track, oh, there's probably more music, right? But on the cassette tape, you never knew because there was never that.
There was never digital
like that-
information showing you.
Right.
Right.
So you could
Right.
just, like, you're listening to it and you're looking behind the cassette tape and you're like, wait a minute, what track is this?
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and you can't skip to that. You gotta just
exactly. You just
you gotta and same with vinyl too. Like those two things. Like you can't skip tracks. You know,
Yeah.
you got to listen to everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's a better experience in my opinion in a lot of ways. Again, it's a ritual.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, you
It's,
have to set it up. You have to slow down when you do something like that. Like you really if you just to put that all together, you went out of your way. So I mean, you might as well do it the
100%.
right way. I agree with that 1,000%.
Yeah.
I love it.
Definitely. Yeah. And I remember, I think the first record I spent a lot of money on, this was like maybe in 2001 or 2002.
Right.
Is this kind of like very obscure, like kind of punk band. And I spent $100 on this record, and that was like a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like
For music specifically, right?
Yeah. And I bought it, and I was like, that, because I was making like, I worked at a movie theater. I was making like probably $800 a month or something like that. So like $100, like that's stupid.
That's
But again, like I have this record, like to this day, I still have it. I still play it, like, and it is like, I think it was like, I believe it was like only 20 made, only 20 pressed. So
wow.
like, it's special to me. It's nostalgic and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, there's always like that one tape or record or something, and like CDs too. It's interesting that you talk about CDs because vinyl had like a huge resurgence, right? It kind of went away, had a huge resurgence. It's right now it sells. There's more vinyl sold than like any other medium of music right now. But CDs are coming back now. Now they're starting to kind of like tiptoe like up to like vinyl, and they might surpass vinyl, which is crazy, But the thing about it is like, people talk about like high fidelity and like what sounds the best. Vinyl, in my opinion, sounds the best, but like very, 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 very close is CD. Tapes sound like shit. Tapes sound like shit.
That's a reality.
But like they're fun.
Yeah.
Like
Especially
like
putting
I'll go
the
to
cartridges in and then like that
oh,
satisfying
totally.
click that you
Doing
get.
a little
Oh my
flip.
god.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
But just the fun in general of B-sides, man. I was a big
Yeah.
B-side junkie. I love the
Yeah.
B-sides always.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, that those tracks aren't on the album, and you have the B sides, and
Right.
and you're like, this B side, why isn't this B side on the album? This is
Yeah.
better than a lot of these songs.
Right.
It's like, so that kind of stuff, and that's super fun. And it's weird because a lot of bands, like a lot of shows I go to nowadays, the bands will have like a tape, and it's not because it sounds good; it's just because it's like fun.
Yeah.
It sounds like shit, but it's just cool to have like a tape. So
Yeah.
That's facts.
I feel like the first time I really remember collecting something, I feel like everyone at some point collected either like a cards or pogs or something like that. But I made it like really. I remember at some point I was organizing my Pokemon cards because I had the binder that you can get that you can just like display all of them in there.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember I was like organizing them based on their types and their names. So like it was alphabetical and name and type organized.
Ooh.
And then
wow.
every time I got a new card, I had to move everything.
That's a rough one.
But it was only the
Did you-
holographics. Only the holographics.
Did you have them in like a binder, like those little, like the 9, like you did? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had it. And there was like a small one that you can get that was like, it was red, and it was like a binder booklet.
Yeah.
And I remember, this is going to be really dark, but I'm going to say it anyway because this is just all in the past.
Right.
I remember, so my mom and dad were divorced growing up, and I was over his house, with my brothers and sisters and all that. And I remember I left it there once instead of bringing it home with me. And then the next weekend I went to go visit, it was nowhere to be found.
Oh no.
And
oh, no.
I didn't know for years what happened to it. I was like, fuck, man, like I really, really wish I knew where it was. I know I put it in this closet over here. I know where it was. And so my dad had a drug problem. And he ended up selling like all of those cards. Like,
man,
all of them. Like not only
that's crushing. Yeah.
Not only did I like it was accumulated over however many years of collecting, but I also like spent all that time like organizing it and like I low key had like OCD as a kid, so like I had it exactly the way I wanted it, and so to have it just be gone was like so crushing.
Yeah, that'll hurt us so for real.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Yeah, but it taught me to enjoy the process of collecting too, though. And so obviously the downside of like losing all that meant like, all right, I got to move on to something else. So like, I think around that time I just stopped doing Pokemon altogether, and video games became the thing. So like I had like, neatly organized and separated like video games stacked, so like I had a corner in the living room that was dedicated to all my video game stuff.
So your OCD continued.
It just transgressed into something different.
Yeah, go.
No, I think most collectors have OCD in some form of OCD. So, like for sure.
I like to think that I don't have it anymore, but I do catch myself every once in a blue moon, just like organizing the fridge, and I'm just like, why am I doing that? No, there's just no reason to be meticulously moving.
Just moving stuff like, okay, I'm doing it.
Categorizing
That's
it.
Crazy.
It happens very rarely, but every once in a while. Maybe it's when I'm high or something. I don't know. I don't know what happens.
No, I mean, there's something about like after you clean your fridge, everything's just neat and orderly. You're like,
you got all your beer just like lined up,
all your bottles.
Yeah.
No, I get that. So I mean, maybe you and I have the OCD. You got that. Some people might, Some people might call it.
They might call something different.
I call them assholes.
That's just called being an adult.
I'm being an adult. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Shoot. Yeah, I like it.
This is great. So we're going to transition into the interview section, which is going to be more specifically about what you do, how you've done it, and kind of how it all started. And I'm super curious about this too, because I haven't really had these kind of conversations with someone who owns like a collectible shop. So I'm excited to get into this next part.
Okay.
So you mentioned already earlier, who you are, what you do. I guess be a little more specific about what you do, I guess.
So I mean, I'm a retailer of statues. I distribute some statues too. Figurama is one of the companies that we actually distribute for North America. We're the exclusive distributor, which, I mean, in case you don't know the difference between a retailer and a distributor is someone that like basically imports a bunch of stuff and then sells that stuff to businesses, and the businesses are the retailers, and they retail it to consumers, right? Direct to customers. So that's what a distributor does. So I do both. So that's one company that I distribute for. So like I bring those in and I sell them. Other retailers buy those from me, and then also I just bring stuff in and sell them direct to consumers as well. I think a lot of like I did this as a side thing, for a long time, like when I was in college. And really the reason why I started doing it was to get cheaper statues for me. Like I was like, how do I get these cheaper? I get a wholesale license, I get a seller's permit, I get an account with like another distributor. I get them cheap. If I sell 5 of these, I get, I'll keep one for myself, and that's basically like free for me. So that's what I started. That's how it started. So it was never meant to be like my career. It was never meant to be like what it is now, right?
Yeah.
So that I did that for like, honestly, I think I got a seller's permit in like 2009 or 2010.
Okay.
And then I did that through college. And then like 2015, it started like the business started picking up. Like I got my own website. I was doing it on eBay at first, just eBay. I didn't have my own website or anything like that, right? Yeah, and I made also I made no money. I was negative. I was negative money. I made no money.
Most
like
businesses.
I'm like, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy a bunch of these statues. Like, and I was buying things that I liked, not what people would buy, just what I liked, which is you're not supposed to do that, obviously, right? So I did that, and totally bad for business, right? Getting high on your own product, right? So so like I made no money. I was losing money. I was like, whatever. But I just kept doing it, and like over the years, I just got I'm pretty good with computers, and I know I can make a nice website, blah blah blah. Like around 2015, you could make a nice website yourself and make it really, look really good without spending a lot of money. So that's when I made my own website. And then, I was very involved in like the statue community. And so, if someone was like, oh, I really want to get this, it's sold out here, I would be like, oh, hey, I have it, and then with that, I made a lot of connections within the statue and collectibles community. And people started, being like, oh, basically it was like a kind of a grassroots thing where people would be like, oh, Spec Fiction has it. And they're like, is this a legitimate site? And then a person that had bought from me that I became friends with, would vouch for me. So that's how I grew. That is just word of mouth, essentially. Word of mouth is what happened. Then Facebook happened, and Facebook groups, that made a huge difference as well. A bigger following, bigger outreach, because like the message boards they were good, but like, they were very like, I suppose like
niche,
just niche. Yeah, niche. That's the word I was looking for. So it's very niche, and there was no, like, Facebook is a little more personal, right?
Yeah.
You can see someone's picture. Sometimes you can see their picture. So yeah, and like it was kind of like just all these things at once happening, right place at the right time, kind of thing. And then 2017, at the end of the year, I looked at like my revenue, and I was like, wow, okay, that's cool. Like, I guess I think I can quit my job. I think I can just do this,
Ooh,
and then when I quit my job, and I put all my time into this business, it just exploded.
Mhm.
Exploded. 2018, every single year since 2017, it's just grown, like doubled almost, you know? So
And that's like,
that
sorry, go ahead.
no, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
What's so like dope about that? Like, again, I just organically found it through a recommendation from a sculptor. I had caught on to this statue. Morgan Ainsland is like one of my favorite characters in media in general, just like her design and her like style, and I love playing as her in the games. When HMO made that statue, it was like the holy grail of statues for me, because like it was unique, it was something totally different. But the only problem was that it was not sold in the US at all. And so the fact that you got that distribution deal like was a huge deal. Like not many other places were even able to do that.
Yeah, I mean it's essentially just about like who you know and connections essentially. So again, like I became close to a lot of these people that either were like, you know, owned a company or like they were like the CEO of the company or something. And we would talk like literally just on a daily basis or something. And again, people knew me in the community. So they would always vouch for me. So they would always be like, "Oh yeah, just go ask Todd. Todd might know. Todd might be able to help getting you this like hard to get piece in the United States, right?" And again, like that was kind of like what I was specializing in, and just getting these harder to find pieces that you couldn't find here. And I was able to do it again because I just had a lot of connections and stuff like that. And you know, one thing led to another, and that's kind of what I became known for. And that's pretty much it. So
yeah, that's so cool.
And yeah, you got the Morgan. So, and I mean, it is really one of the coolest statues. Like,
how do you say no to that?
Honestly, yeah.
It's crazy.
And like the craziest part is that this was based on a drawing that Stanley Lau did, who's like my favorite digital artist. I had a chance to meet him in person. He's just like a super awesome guy. I even told him like I saw him at New York Comic Con years ago, and that year I bought like 2 prints from him. And on my way back home, I got caught in one of those New York turntable things before they changed them.
Yeah.
And it got damaged on my way home.
Ouch.
And I was just like heartbroken. So I came back and I was just like, let me, closed mouths don't get fed. Let me just ask and see what happens. And I asked him, I was like, hey, I brought it with me just so that he can see. I was like, hey, I had them in the stiff clear thing that you get for prints. The print protector, I guess. I brought that and I was like, this got damaged on my way back to my hotel and I'm really heartbroken about it. Is there any way? He was like, say less. He just handed me 2 new prints, like fresh, and just signed them. I was like, man.
That's love right there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people
That's super cool.
are just going to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That don't happen often.
Yeah.
That's super dope.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of like how I got introduced to your company. And I guess this kind of. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like how a statue is appealing to kind of everyone is when you put a statue on display like Morgan. Like I had that on display at our old house, and people would come over and they'd be, I'd have a case of statues, right? And they would just walk by and be like, "Oh shit," and they
Stop
would
right for that one. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not someone that knows who that character is or collects statues or even cares about collecting or any toys, whatever. They just looked at it and they're like, that's like a piece of art,
Yes.
And that's how you know it's like a good piece, in my opinion.
I'm on the site right now, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm looking at this Nakaruru statue. Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Wee! See what I'm saying?
Like that one.
Yeah, again, gravitating towards things. There's a few on here that I love. I think the one that stands out the most to me. So I'm browsing the site. For anyone that's wondering,
please do.
You know what I'm saying? Inspectfictionshop.com. I just had to plug that in for you real quick.
Yes.
That kingpin with the chess set.
Oh yeah, pretty
On
cool.
the
Yeah.
seat? Oh my
Yeah.
god! And it's that colorway that I like. Oh lordy!
So we
I'm a
slowly
fan.
converting
Yeah.
Shadosha to the
I
dark
just need
side.
space. No, I need space. That's all I need. As soon as I get some
Yeah.
shells, oh, it's a
It's
wrap for
big.
my wallet. Forget about it.
That's a big one. That's a big
Yeah.
one too.
I saw it was a quarter. Oh, that was a thing that I was gonna ask you about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys do life size statues in here and stuff like that. I mean, when did you discover that there? I mean, I'm assuming there always is a market for something like that. But I mean, that's a pretty hefty project. When did you discover that there was an audience that was really into like just for example, I'm looking at this life size bust here and stuff like that. Like when did you discover there were collectors that were really into stuff like that?
I mean, like I started collecting statues in around 2002, right? Like the more expensive ones.
Yeah.
I was at my girlfriend's at the time, and her parents had a Lord of the Rings statue of Boromir, and I was like, "What is that? Like that is so cool." And she's like, "I don't know, care." Like she doesn't give a shit. I was like,
and then the relationship ended. No, I'm joking.
That was it. But no. After that, I went home and I like Googled, and I found like Sideshow Collectibles, and I bought that was like the first time I bought this Lord of the Rings statue,
Right.
and that was like $250, and at the time that was crazy, crazy expensive. Like that's a lot, okay. And then again, so that was 2002. That's 20 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Over the year, but yeah.
Realization.
Yeah, wow, that's terrible. Anyway, so yeah, I always collected statues throughout the years, and I saw the prices go up and up and up and up.
Mm-hmm.
I myself was a person that was finding myself being like, "Oh, that's so expensive,"
right?
But I have to have it.
Yeah,
like
around it, yeah.
And you're like,
I like that.
Like,
okay, yeah.
Like 2008 rolls around, and it's like, oh, that's $500 statue. I'm just gonna put it on payment plan. It's fine. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's like, where am I? It's like I live with my parents. Where am I gonna put this? I'll figure it out when it comes out in a year. It's no big deal. Okay. Well, let's just do it. Let's just order it. Right.
Right.
So I mean, like I myself was a person that was like, okay,
that's how you do it. Yeah.
Insane. That I'm an insane person, and I'm like, oh, there's other insane people.
There's others. Okay. Got
and
you.
then and then like 2017 again, like kind of when everything was happening, the prices were pretty high. But then you have life-size busts, you have life-size statues, which are $12,000.
Yeah.
But the craziest thing to me is when a statue, like, okay, there's this Hulk statue by Sideshow Collectibles, Gray Hulk. I think they made 100 pieces of it, right? I had the opportunity. It's kind of like the Charizard thing. I had the opportunity to buy this in like 2004, 2005, right?
Right.
I've never been a Hulk collector. I don't really care about Hulk.
Yeah.
Don't hate me if you guys love Hulk, but I just don't. I have nothing against Hulk. I just, for me, I don't care about having like a green dude in my collection. I don't.
Right. I feel that. I respect that.
But again, it's fine. I totally understand. Yeah. So I didn't buy it. Right. Fast forward, this piece it was $400. $400, and I was like, oh God, everyone back then was like, oh God, on the message boards, like $400.
Yeah.
That's stupid. Fast forward to now, it sells for like $15,000.
Yeah, no.
So that when a piece that appreciates that much over, and I mean that's very rare. No pieces really do that, right?
Yeah.
But like when I again, I was in the community, so I was seeing, I would see pieces go up like a bunch in value, like create like a crazy amount where you're like, what? That's crazy, right? $300, now it's $2,000, right? And you can sell it for that. So I would see that on my side, right? And I would see people buying it because I would sometimes buy a statue. A few years later, I'd sell it for like way more than I bought it. And I'd be like, okay, people will buy this, whatever. So yeah. So to answer your question, like I saw that firsthand.
Yeah. Okay,
Now,
got you.
now it's even a completely different, game because 12 grand for like a life size Heath Ledger Joker, 12 grand for
Right.
like a life size Iron Man. But again, people love Iron Man.
Yeah.
They love Iron
It's a
Man.
fact.
So, and I mean, when you think about it, you could buy like five or no, like 6 or 7 really big statues over the course of a year, or just buy one life size statue, right?
Yeah.
So, it's not people would be like, oh, 12,000 for a life size. No, that's crazy. But
Right.
then they would go and spend like 20 grand that year on
Yep.
just smaller statues. So
Yep.
it's like, it's all relative, you just you have to think about it in those terms, I think.
Yeah.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense because I saw it on here and I was like, I saw the prices of the 1/6 scale, and again, I mean, it's all relative. Again, these are collectibles. There's a sense of value already attached to them.
Right.
Just knowing that there's a market for that, and that it's such a commonplace where
Mhm.
I'm seeing sold outs on these bad boys. I'm like, woo, wee, yeah, I love that. And I just think it's amazing because I feel like there's so much to appreciate in a bigger statue. Like I'm looking at this Loki one now, and I can already tell that there's a huge attention to detail. Now imagine that to scale. Like I don't know, man. I'm
Yeah.
a fan of detail like that. So that's the beauty.
Yeah.
the
Are
beauty
you
to
looking
me.
at the life size one?
Yeah.
The bust.
The
right?
bust, the bust. Yeah.
Yeah, and that has silicone skin. So when
See,
you touch it,
ooh.
it feels real. And his hair is rooted, so that means every hair is punched into the
Yeah, that's
scalp.
Oh, yeah, that stays in a case. I don't know what case it comes in,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
stays in it. Goddamn it! Oh no,
yeah.
Is it the Queen
you ain't
Studios
finna-
one you're looking at?
Now the
If I
case
see,
the case
yeah.
the case is sold separately. You
Okay, that's
you're
fair. But
gonna
listen, if I see a follicle go missing, you know what I'm saying, it's problems. I'd rather spend extra on the case than lose a follicle. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
I agree.
Crazy. I love it.
Yeah, you're gonna need to buy a case for that. And it's really
For sure.
it's really funny too because like you see people buy it, like they have their collections are probably worth like 100 grand, right?
Yeah.
But like some of these collectors, and again, it's fine, no judgment. It's just funny to me. They'll they'll have a crazy collection, crazy amount of statues, some grails in there that are worth a lot of money. But if I'm like, oh, yeah, we sell something called Moji case, which is like a very nice high end
Yeah.
premium case,
Yeah.
and they're like, how much are the Moji case? I'm like, oh, it's about it depends on how big your collection is. It starts at like $300, and then you can get a huge whole wall unit for like $10,000. They're like,
Right.
no way. I'm just gonna go go to like get some garage shelving at Home Depot,
Yeah,
$200,
it's
and it's
well,
like
you just spent
it's fun,
$80,000 on
right?
all of this.
Right.
You won't spend an extra 10. You got it. What are you
I
doing?
know that
That's
fun. It's very these collectors are very interesting people. They're very they're fickle and they're they're OCD and but yeah, it's very funny. It's very funny to see all that, and I see that firsthand because I'm selling to these people, and it's interesting, very interesting, to say the least.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's tricky because you want to, instead of spending all that on the case, you're like, well, I could just buy more stashes with that money.
Totally, yeah, 100%, 100%. And I completely get it.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I also like I didn't get any super high quality shells, but I got something that was like I felt was strong enough for what I was trying to do.
Yeah, there you go.
That is one of my next things. Like I do want to get like a.
You can you can buy garage shelving and then make it look super nice.
Right.
You can DIY it, like so. And again, nothing against garage shelving. It's sturdy. It'll hold like 1,000 pounds, so you can put 1,000,000 statues on there and you're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's ways you can buy a cheap display and kind of make some tweaks and make it look super legit, in my opinion. So.
And lighting too, so you
No
see some
judgment.
lights in the background for
lighting.
yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can control these lights with my phone. So here, watch this. Here we go.
He's got the Philips Hue in the back. I like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's right.
I guess you can't really. I guess it's not a huge difference, but
it looks brighter right now.
I can change like the color temperature and whatnot too. You can't really see it on here, but yeah, I mean, it's important to have good lighting for sure, in my opinion. I mean, again, like when you have this setup and then you come in and it's all dark, kind of disappointing.
No, appreciate. Well, you might run into something. I actually too. So yeah.
Don't want.
There you go. Yeah, you might hit it.
You don't want those problems.
Yeah, right.
That's a fact.
Exactly.
So I guess Man, so I'm learning a bunch of things. I'm hoping Chad is also learning a bunch of things as well. Um, we learned about what drew you in, kind of how that evolved into now running the business full time. Um, what does a day in the life of Todd look like now? I imagine it's much different than when it started off.
Yeah. So I was doing it by myself um, up until 2021, or 20, yeah. I hired my first employee, I believe it was last March. Yeah,
Oh
I
wow.
hired Anne
Oh
Marie
damn!
last March. So yeah, so
Wow.
2021. So, and by that time I was I was dying. Like I
I
was like,
bet.
dude, this is killing me. Because when I started, I probably had 50 customers, give or take.
Yeah.
I probably have thousands of customers at this point.
Yeah.
So uh, about 2021, I was still doing it. The beginning of 2021, I was like, I need, like, after that Christmas holiday, the 2020 Christmas holiday, I was like, oh my God, I have to hire someone. Like I should have hired someone like a year ago, right?
Right.
So, so a day in the life uh, right now is
Look at you,
it's
though. She's
still
like,
busy. It's still busy. It's still very busy, but um, and so here's what happened, right? So I hired someone in March, then I hired another employee in this last October, and then we just hired someone like 3 weeks ago.
Hmm.
So recently, I got COVID like 2 weeks ago, and this person that was supposed to start, like, I got COVID on a Thursday. They were supposed to start Tuesday, so I was like, damn. So it was getting crazy busy again. Even like I hired someone, I was like, okay, I was good for a little bit. Then I hired and then I was like, oh, it got busy again, crazy busy, and I'm like, okay, we need to hire someone else. Hired someone else. I was like, we were good for a little bit, and then it got crazy busy again. Which is obviously, these are all good things. I'm
Yeah.
not complaining about it, but so
but you gotta deal with
this is
it.
kind of what's been happening. So up until the point where we hired this last person, I was swamped again, and I was like, literally working just
Mm.
all day long, barely sleeping, and just trying to catch up, just all constantly trying to catch up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, but then like, we hired this person. I'm like, finally, we hired a person and get him in. But I got COVID, and I was like, damn it. But
Right.
like, we were able to, train him like on Zoom and stuff. And so now he's been working for like only like a week, but, so it's going well. But essentially, a day in the life of me is, I wake up at like maybe 9ish, and I like do
Same.
work in bed for like on my phone for like, I don't know. It depends. It depends.
Yeah.
Depends. Like, if I can do all the work on in bed, I'll stay there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
It kind of just
I
depends.
love
But
that. That's me right there. That's me half the day. I'm in bed working. Goddamn. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, we are blessed to be able to do that. Like,
For
anyone
sure.
who can do
Yeah.
that, like, damn,
Right.
like, but if I have to, get up and go to my office in the next room over, oh God, I'll do that, obviously. And then, I have like another office, like, 10 minutes away, that it's like, has a small warehouse there. I'll go there. Um, if I have so like, we have a main warehouse where, like, it's like we just ship from everything. I had like there's employees there, they just ship stuff. But then I have like a small warehouse where I started, and if there's like a item there that's not in that other warehouse, I go there and actually ship it. This is like very few and far between, but I do this sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. But generally, it's waking up at 9, working all day, eating a little bit, here and there, taking a small break, um, and just working basically from like 10 to 10, essentially.
Yeah. Is it mostly like fulfilling orders and like following up with
It's
manufacturers?
so what I'm doing now is like the customer service side is pretty much covered with the employees that we have.
Mhm.
The social marketing, social media, and then marketing stuff is covered with the first employee I hired, Anne Marie. So what I'm doing is when items are ready in China or Singapore or wherever they're coming from, I'm just dealing with the manufacturers. And so like importing stuff is it's a lot of work. It's a
Mhm.
lot of
I
paperwork and
imagine.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like doing that, sending sending out invoices. Um, it's the system that I developed. It was it was fine for me because it was all in my head, but having to show people what to do, I
Yeah.
realized like
Yeah.
how
That's tricky.
crazy. Yeah, and like I realized like how crazy it is.
Yeah.
And like I can see it in their faces. I'm like, you like all of this?
Right.
And it's they're like, what?
One person too. Like that was for you
Right.
did it for how many years? It sounded like you did it for
I
at
did
least
it
4 years, right?
Yeah, like in the busiest in the most like busiest iteration of the company. Yes, 4 years I did
Oh
it.
boy.
So
Woo.
Yeah.
and I had a very good system and it
Yeah,
worked well, but then
It
it
was
caught up to
your
me and
for
system.
sure.
the
Yeah.
customers. Yeah. And again, all good stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
complaining. It just I had to shift.
Yeah.
I had to bring in people and stuff.
They call it growing
So
pains for a reason, That's just how
Right.
it goes.
yeah, right,
That's how it
right.
goes.
It's a good
So
problem to have, but it's still something you got to deal with.
It's still a problem,
no
nonetheless.
problem.
That's
It's
right.
still
That's a fact.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're at now, and hopefully one day I can do nothing. A day in the life would be just nothing,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I just collect
But
now. I'm
not yet.
cool.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, yeah, like or just I'd love to do more like videos of opening statues and doing more videos, doing more content. I'd
Yeah.
love to be able to do that. It's just the time. I have no time. That's why
Totally
I can't.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But
impossible.
I would love to do that. That's kind of the goal. The goal is to kind of
Nice.
have it so everyone else can do like all that administration stuff,
And you just
and
have
then
fun.
I can be like the face of the company,
Right.
like fully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, hopefully this is a start of that, getting people to see your face and
yeah,
see what you're all about.
yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. I remember like the first time I was invited on a show, and I was like, "What? Why?" I was like, "Okay,
Yep.
you want? All right." And it was. I mean, I love it. It's very fun. It's fun just talking to the community. It's fun talking to you guys. Like it's. I really enjoy just talking about the stuff. I just like it when people are just into something and they're like geeking out, like nerding out, and just like really just stoked on something. That's what I
Yeah.
like.
Mhm.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Anything
passion
doesn't
is
have to be
addictive, for
statues.
sure.
Yeah. Just when people are stoked on something, music, statues, movies, whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
here's a question that I don't think is on here. What is your holy grail of statues? Well, I guess it is kind of on here, but what is your?
I mean,
Album is.
what? Sorry,
we know
what?
what your album is. We know what your holy grail of albums are. It's one of those statues
Oh,
now.
right. Yeah. And that wasn't even my holy grail anymore. But anyway.
Okay, fair.
I mean, I think that I have everything that I need. So, like this statue is obviously it's not hard to see. This is a Silver Surfer statue. So I love Silver Surfer statues. This one was like I had to have it, and it was pretty expensive at the time, and now it's even more expensive.
Right.
But I had to have it, and
Yeah.
it's one of those ones where you walk by it, it's a piece of art. It's just
Are you talking about the middle one, or are you talking about the?
No, the one
No.
right here.
Yeah.
This one.
Gotcha.
I would pick it up, but it's
Don't.
kind of a.
Don't.
No, I'll leave it right there. No mistakes on this
I've done
podcast.
it. I've done it
goddammit.
before. I mean, if I
Okay.
get, yeah, maybe we'll see later on. We'll see. But I've done it. I've done it before, and it was not. Anyways, so yeah, that's one of my favorite statues. For all the statues like in this area are like my favorite.
Mhm.
I don't. I would like to see some different statues made. I really like original pieces of artwork now. Like it doesn't have to be based on anything. I really like and just seeing like a nice, beautifully sculpted statue of like a cyberpunk like original like girl with like a cool crazy gun. You know what I mean? Like just original stuff. I really like to see that, and
Mhm.
I'm seeing a lot more of that now too, which is really cool.
That's cool. I want something like that. Like I wish NFTs worked that way. Like, okay, you buy an NFT, they give you
A statue of it or something.
statue. Goddamn, yeah. Yeah, you can't.
I
You can
mean,
take a
then
picture of it, but you can't keep the statue. Damn it! Like whatever. I
Right.
love that. I would love that.
Right.
I mean, then it would be worth it.
Right.
Get an NFT.
Yeah, and you know that's so
No,
funny
I mean-
too, because like there's so much of a artistry aspect to collecting statues or a lot of collectibles in general, like replicas. There's just like a craftsmanship and like a appreciation, like you said, Shadosha, of like detail and like form and like really.
Yeah, a lot goes into it. A lot of, and there's a lot of people working on it, you know, and they're pretty. It's when you really think about it, like what it takes to make one of these statues is pretty crazy. Like it's pretty absurd, you know, that it exists. Like these things exist in like this form, you know.
And there could be hundreds of them, but like
thousands, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Insane. So it's interesting. It's interesting to think about for sure.
I learned about that actually from I was watching a documentary. This is a fun one. I'm not the biggest chess fan, but I do like to watch chess from time to time. I just like the way the brain works. I was watching a documentary just about the chess pieces used in like the FIDE World Championships and stuff like that, just the World Championships of chess and stuff like that. And I didn't realize that. I mean, technically speaking, a lot of the pieces are built in a way that you can kind of almost guarantee the symmetry. But the most valuable piece, the most difficult piece to make is the knight. And
that's sense.
Because the level of detail that goes into making a knight, but not just that, you have to make it symmetrical. It has to look the exact same on both sides. So many knights lose their value because something is off just slightly. Only a very few select group of people can hand make a symmetrical knight just because they have the skill to do that. And that's when I learned about I learned about the value is in detail. Like what I'm trying to say is like it upped the value, not just okay, here's this popular character or whatever. No, we're known for this level in magnitude of detail in something, which is why you're gonna spend 10 grand on a chess piece. This is just a knight. It's just a knight, but you've not, because again, remember, you have to make two of them.
Right.
You have to make two knights
per side.
And they both have to be per side, different colors, a special kind of, it could be marble or wood.
Yeah.
But it has to be symmetrical. It was crazy. It was insane. But yeah, no, after that actually made me not addicted, but I like that meticulous side that you guys are talking about. It makes me pay attention to the detail and appreciate why that matters so much. Man, I rock with that a lot.
Yeah. And it's like watches, you know, like why is a Rolex watch $25,000?
Yeah.
Like
them gears.
Like they're, you know, the guy has like one of these guys, you know, and like so I mean, am I going to buy one? Probably never in my life, you know, but I can totally appreciate why it is so expensive. I mean, that's like the labor that goes into it is so intense, and like with anything where a lot of labor goes into it, you have to appreciate that, you know, whether you like it or not, you know, like you.
Right.
For sure.
And, you know, speaking of appreciating and, you know, paying attention to detail, I have to ask, because this is something that I, as well as a lot of other collectors, butt up against all the time when it comes to like having space for statues.
Yeah.
Is, do you swap statues in and out on your display?
I mean, honestly, no, I don't. I mean, okay, this display just got built like 5 months ago.
Okay.
And then I put everything up. I will probably, so before that, I had like the desk I have right here had had all these Silver Surfers on the desk. It's a big enough desk, right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of just like, there was some of these statues were over here on like this little kind of like IKEA shelf thing, right? So when I got this built, I switched some stuff around. I will probably switch stuff out, but like I don't do it often, and I wouldn't do it often. Especially like there's these pieces up here. Again, it's hard to see, but like these pieces have like 50 pieces that you have to put together. It's it's not like a Lego, but it's, you know, it's like a puzzle. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So I am not,
Right.
and I just don't have the time or the patience to do that.
I feel
You
that.
know, I don't like statues anymore that have like a bajillion pieces. Aside from these face ones, because like these are just original artwork. The sculptor who made this is insane. Like
Yeah.
they're insane.
Yeah.
So those ones, okay, but like I like simple pieces that have like the body, the head you magnetizes on, the arm
Arms.
magnetizes on.
Yeah.
There's a face. There you
So
go.
gunplays are out of the question, and that's what that sounds like. All right, no Gundams in the house. Bump all that
No.
assembly.
I will. I mean, okay, I would assemble a Gundam just for the experience. I've never done
For
it,
sure, yeah.
It is fun. Yeah.
but I've never. It depends. Maybe I would love it. I don't know. But like for me, I just want it to be simple. Just
Yeah.
a few pieces, and then you're done.
I had a
Kind of
gunplay
thing.
sent to me. I left with anxiety. I was like, all right, put it back in the box. I feel like I lost something. I don't know. There's something just frightening about losing something because it just might, you know what I'm saying? That's a leg that don't go on no more because I
Right.
You're missing
missed
this
a
one
little
little
dot,
piece.
bro.
Yeah.
Little tiny little thing, and now a whole foot is missing. Like, I can't do that. I ain't gonna. I'll be out here looking crazy. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
That is a
So,
downside
I
of
remember that.
Gundams. Yeah.
Yeah. Legos was the same way. All right, nope. Mm-mm.
That is true. That
Yeah.
is true.
Yeah, Legos is even crazier, because like those pieces are just generic ass
You don't know
pieces.
what
Right.
you're looking at in there. You're just like,
Yeah.
is this the
Yeah.
same as the one that's over here? Like,
Yeah, you're like, oh,
You gotta have that Atari level creativity with that one right there to put a
For real.
picture together. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's OD, bro.
Yes. So,
yeah. I mean,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say Legos are fun. They are very fun. But again, like maybe when I'm retired and I have just a lot of time, I'll do some Legos again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sound like an old man, I guess, but but yeah, I don't know. I'd rather I like just simple things. I'd rather do something else, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
What would you say is a hard lesson that you learned along the way of starting your business, of hiring people, of marketing, and getting into all of the nitty gritty of each and every one of those things? What is something that you feel, if someone else were to start their business in the collectible space, they should know?
I mean, it's a hard business to make money in. The thing about it, so it's a pre-order based kind of business, right? So that alone is not the best because you get buyer's remorse when you pre-order something and you don't actually get the item. Buyer's remorse is gonna like more likely to happen for sure, and then people cancel. That's a nightmare. It's obviously better just to like have something where they buy it, you ship it to them, and then that's it. Even if they have buyer's remorse later, then they're probably not going to return it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's that, right? That's horrible. There is breakage on statues, and it seems like it gets worse every year.
I bet.
You have to have an insurance policy that's expensive, because the breakages are, we probably have, I don't know, at least 30 statues break a month, at least.
Damn.
And then you have to have them fixed or get replacements. That costs money,
That
and
costs money,
it takes time
Yeah.
to talk to the person. The person's upset that got it, and I understand that. Sometimes they're just completely like, their life
Irrational.
is over.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
you have to calm them down. You have to kind of be a therapist. And so like, you do. I mean, you do.
Yeah.
So there, I mean, there's a lot. It's not just like, oh, cool, statues. I collect them. I'll just sell them. No,
Right.
it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not saying don't do it if you want to do it. Try it out. But I got here because of repetition, and I had nothing else to do, kind of thing, and I just kept at it.
Yeah.
I just kept collecting.
Yeah.
So I kept buying. So I kept selling, and I just learned how to have an e-commerce website, basically,
Mhm.
and I got good at it. But like, especially now after COVID, post COVID, or whatever you want
Whatever
to say
we're in right now.
about COVID.
Yeah.
COVID something.
Shipping
It's a
is
nightmare.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the
Crazy.
worst right now. Yeah,
Oh my God.
I feel like it's got to be
Insane.
frightening right now just to be able to try to ship something, especially of that value,
And especially something
knowing,
that big.
yeah, knowing that right now, yeah, a lot of the distribution pipelines are jammed up. Number one, and a lot of them are getting robbed. Like I try my best not to order stuff from the West Coast just because people they boost those trains all the time. It happens all the time. I'd rather get something from the Midwest because that is really a thing and it's just heartbreaking. Yeah, that's really happening. So
Something for you to
No
know.
way.
yeah, no, I learned that. Yeah, because and the funny thing is, I learned that because remember, I work in the production
Yeah.
industry now. So yeah, we would get a lot of just camera gear, rigs, equipment, and stuff like that. You know, a lot of those stuff are coming out of a warehouse on the West Coast, and they just won't arrive. We can't find it. That's just the thing. And ironically enough, when the distributors, go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. What stuff are you? What kind of stuff is this?
This is camera gear. This is
Okay.
rigs, just mounts and stuff like that.
Got
Yeah.
it.
So
Got
I
it.
mean monitors and stuff like that. So it's expensive, and you know, no one's really paying attention to what exactly they're taking. They're just going in boosting boxes.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
whatever's
In and
in
out.
there.
They know
If it's
it-
in and
diapers,
out.
I'm taking it.
For sure, and they know that these guys are shipping the shipping crates going out. You know, and it's hard to keep track and catch everybody because COVID slowed a lot of things down. So the
Yeah.
manpower available to make things happen is just not there. Oh yeah, things are bad right now. So yeah, I know that one firsthand. It's pretty depressing. Pretty depressing.
Yeah, it is. It's super depressing. So I mean, again, like I don't even know what it would be like to start something, any sort of e-commerce right now, any
Right.
sort of business where it seems like a nightmare. It's just very, depressing, and it's just very like, damn,
Yeah.
it's going to cost me this much money to ship from China to the United States when 2 years ago it was like literally 5 times less. Like
Wow.
it was like $3,000, $4,000 a container, $20,000 for one container.
Right.
So yeah.
With that said, here's another question. How are your relationships with those? I guess technically you would be you said you are the distributor. So
For some stuff.
for some stuff, yeah. So how would you say your relationship is with the source? Like, how do you go about building trust with people like that? I mean, I know you just found out that the climate's kind of wild like that, but I mean, they go to you. They went to you as a solo entity and said, "Hey, you can move this stuff." Like, how did that relationship go about being built, and how did you nurture that into something where you can do more really cool stuff on your site, like what you're doing?
Beautiful question.
Yeah, I mean, it's just super organic. It's super it's just essentially like, building a relationship from taking a chance, essentially, on like a random PM on Facebook. Hey, I see, like, you just reaching out to a company.
Right.
Oh, my customer asked me about this product. Do you think I could carry it? I own this website.
Yeah.
And, at first they're like, who the hell are you?
For sure.
But then
I can imagine. Yeah. There's this one person that wants to move this $9,000 bus, and I'm just gonna say yes. On Facebook?
Right. And I think that's the thing too. So like the more people trust you, the more they're willing to spend the high, spend more money with you on those high value items.
Right.
So like you can't just start out selling that $9,000 bust. There's no way, and people don't know who you are. You have to work up to that. So it's and again, like everything that kind of happened for me was like right place, right time, or it was really organic, grassroots, like just meeting certain people, having people, give like good feedback to other collectors about their experience shopping at my store.
Yeah.
So things like that. And then I am a collector. I'm not just a guy like trying to make money. Like I am. Like I really am. It's not like a front. Yeah. I am just a guy. I'm just a nerd. Like, so I can geek out with these people. Sometimes they call me. We talk on the phone for like an hour about just statues and whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, building those relationships, again, it takes time.
For sure.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of time. You can't just start this boom and be successful. It takes a long time. It took me since 2008. I started doing it in 2008.
Right.
So, basically almost 10 years, 2017
10, yeah.
is when it was good enough to do something like more lucrative with it.
Yeah,
right?
I can imagine that. Yeah, that passion for the actual genuine passion and understanding of value for something like a statue. I feel like that is the biggest selling point that you can always offer somebody, because it's like, I really love this stuff. I'm not approaching you as somebody trying to get a buck. This is something that I really value, and I want to
Right.
help you spread that word or that feeling somewhere else. I mean, yeah, that's kind of hard to deny. So I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's always best to work with somebody who actually not only knows it, but like knows it from like a fan's perspective as well as from like a business perspective. It's like, all right, I get when someone gets their package later than they wanted to, or it's broken. Like, I get that because I've experienced it. So like,
I would love to see somebody geek out over, like, they're trying to sell my stuff and they're geeking out about my stuff. Man, that's lit. Take it.
Yeah.
Take 30. Go ahead. Take 30. I know you're gonna get it out there because you going off right now. Take as many as you think you need. I'll make some more. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
For sure.
So I mean, I have nothing else to add to that. you're right.
So here's a question, because I'm a collector. Todd, you're a collector. Shadosha and Audio Lover, neither of you two are, as far as I know.
I mean, they're
like
collectors.
Statue collectors. I should
Well,
say.
I like to collect trophies. I like to beat people up in video games and collect trophies. I mean, is that called collecting? Because that's my thing.
That is collecting. That is collecting.
You snatching and collecting, bro. Like, you
better know it.
You taking.
I'm collecting souls. I'm collecting there. I'm okay. I got it.
I respect.
Yeah.
So Todd, I don't know if this is too personal or not. Do you have kids?
I do not have kids. No.
So I don't have kids yet, but that will change. And I'm just like wondering what my move is when it comes to when they're old enough to start walking around and interacting with things.
That's why my CDs are still in my mom's house. Yep. That's why my CDs are still in my mom's house.
I'm gonna break it.
There you go.
Look at you with the cutest eyes in the world, and you just gonna have to look back at them like, oh, you dead inside. But hey, that's that on that. You know what I mean?
I think that's when I'm just gonna pack my shit up and like put it in like store in.
That's why you just have a dedicated room.
Yeah.
Just have a dedicated room. Like, if you're able to, if you're not able to, get the glass, covers.
Yeah,
glass doors.
you can lock.
Something like that.
Let them break the glass.
Just to get it.
They're gonna break something. Something's breaking. Listen, I'm just gonna let y'all know that something is breaking. Let them break the glass.
Oh my god!
It's difficult during the toddler years. Like the infancy years is never. The toddler years and the rebellion years.
Right.
Like, they start to become no. Like right now, I'm about to deal with the rebellion years.
So you're you're gonna keep those CDs there for a while.
Yeah, for a while.
They're not here for a while. Yeah, because they might like take them and like try to sell them or something, or like, you know what I mean? How old are you?
So my oldest is 11, and then the twins they just turned 7, right?
Twins.
Yeah, all girls.
Okay.
7-11.
Okay. Well, I mean, do they like music though? I mean,
they do. They don't like my music, or they act like this.
That's how it always is, though. Yeah, for sure.
They act like
I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. They're still pretty young, you know.
Yeah,
when you really get into music, it's a little later, maybe.
You gonna walk in one day, Crazy Sexy Cool gonna be bumping. Watch.
No. What's crazy is see the thing about this TikTok era, all the old stuff is coming back.
That's true. We just talked about how vinyls coming back.
Yeah. I'm literally listening to them. Can you pay my bills? What do you know about paying bills?
What do you know about Destiny's Child?
Who is paying your bills? I'm paying your bills. Shit. I pay your phone bill.
I'm paying them. What are you talking about?
They're gonna look at you like, Daddy, I don't want no scrub. Where are you getting this?
And this is literally the TikTok, the Roblox.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you know about a scrub? Nobody in your What?
Define the
Nobody
scrub.
in your elementary school drives any kind.
Right,
What,
right.
a bike? They don't have
Right.
their own bike.
Yeah.
What are you looking for right now?
What you
Yeah.
mean sitting on their broke
Yeah.
ass? What, they ain't got lunch tickets? Like, what are you talking about? Like, come on, leave them
There- there-
alone.
yeah. There's no passenger side on a bike. There's no passenger.
There's
know
no
what I mean?
back.
They don't got
So-
pegs on the bike. What are you talking about? Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Like it's crazy because like I said, I still buy CDs or whatever, right?
Keep them at your mom's house.
So I keep them at my mom's house. Some of them I do have in my car or whatever because my car is like, you know, well now my new car doesn't play.
Do you have a car CD booklet? Do you have one of those?
I do.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good times.
That's tight. Yeah, that's tight.
So yeah, most of my CD cases are empty and everything's obviously in the CD book, right?
Yeah.
But like I
Mhm.
think I am going to start to transfer everything back to the CDs. As I am listening more and more to streams. I just never had the time to do that as of yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'll play I don't know, Solange, right? Like I'm a big Solange fan of her second album. That's like one of my favorite
Oh yeah,
albums.
that's a great album.
And like it's even more like for me, it's more special the version I have because they don't print that version anymore. And there's a specific song on that album that they do not, I guess the label doesn't have the rights to anymore or whatever, but I still have the original, right?
Dude,
I looked
So
this up. Hold on, that sounds godly. I didn't know about that.
Right.
Yeah,
I love a seat at the table. That's a
um,
great album too. Damn,
That's cool.
so it's it's the
not a seat at the table.
no, it's the second one. It's the one that CeeLo did.
Oh,
In
I remember
the
that one.
Solange and the freaking what is it? It's the one where she has the angel wings.
Yes.
It's,
I
it's
remember
like
that
more
one.
of the
Yeah.
70s version.
Yeah.
But Sandcastle Disco is
Soul
not
Angel
on
and
the
the Had
re-release.
These Saint Dreams.
Yes.
That one.
Yes,
Yeah.
but Sandcastle Disco is not on the re-release, right? So I listen, I will play that song to death, and they'll my kids will look at me like, what the f- is going on with you? But then I'll hear them singing it or whatever, and like I could tell they're like she's at that age, like she'll
just don't-
probably try to sell my.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, no, don't go on eBay trying to look at how much prices are.
Right.
yeah,
Don't do that.
yeah.
Oh no, you're right.
The other question I had for you is, what do you feel is like the most important steps towards starting a collection? The title of this the podcast is, curate or curation. What's
Go
that
slow.
process like? Yeah.
Go slow.
Don't. If you're a new collector, because I see it all the time, like all the time. New collectors, they just go and they just buy 1 million statues, every statue.
Okay, I needed to hear this. Okay.
Yeah.
1 month later, one
Right.
month later, they're like, I want to cancel all these statues, or I want to sell all the statues. Like if they're pre-orders, they want to cancel them.
Mhm.
Or if they were statues that they got on eBay, for example, just like, because they don't know where to look, a lot of the time.
Right. Yeah.
So they just buy all these statues and they immediately like, I don't like that statue. That's not a good statue, because you have nothing to base it on. Like, what is a
Right.
good statue when you have no statues? You got to
Yeah.
just, first of all, just don't be hasty. Ask questions. Ask questions. Like, first of all, it's like, what character? What? I guess like, are you a comic book fan? Are you a DC film fan? Are you X-Men? Do you what's your favorite thing? Like, tell me what your favorite thing is. If they say, my favorite is Gambit from X-Men, then I'll be like, okay, here's 2 really good Gambit statues. Which one you want, it's up to you to decide. Don't go buy like 20 Gambit statues on eBay. That
Right.
suck,
Yeah.
you know?
That sounds more like a fetish at the beginning. Like it kick you had for a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it. The thing is, because I've seen it so many times, and it's so
Yeah.
frustrating when it
Right.
happens. Because I'm like, dude, I'm gonna see you, and I'm gonna talk to you in a month, and you're gonna want to cancel like all your orders,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah. I mean, I like first and foremost, just go slow. Just go slow. Take it all in first.
Mhm.
kind of live vicariously through all these collectors. There's a lot of YouTubers, watch their videos because they have good advice. A lot of them do. Some of them don't, but a lot of them do, right? So make sure, like some of them you'll, because I mean, again, this is a visual medium and seeing it in real life is very important. But chances are you can't go to a place and see like one of these really big, huge statues in
That's a
person.
fact. Yeah.
So you're going to maybe watch a YouTube video, right?
Mm-hmm.
And watching the YouTube video is good because the YouTubers, for the most part, will be honest and say this is a piece of shit or this is a very nice statue and I recommend it highly.
Right.
So that's what you need to do. You don't just go look at pictures and be like that one. Don't do that. You're gonna regret it big time.
Yeah.
And then just kind of like you kind of have to collect within your means. Don't, if you buy 5 statues and then like, something happens where like the smallest financial disruption happens and you're like, oh God,
Now you're stuck.
don't do that. You know what? Yeah. I mean, like you gotta, again, within your means, don't go nuts because sometimes like, you see the statue, it's $900 the total price is, but the deposit's $100.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm gonna buy 5. But then what if they all come at once?
Yeah.
To ship.
Right.
That's like $5,000.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to pay. So, think about that kind of stuff. So those are the things. It's mainly like financial things, and it's just like, again, for the most part, people think they're gonna miss out. They have FOMO. They're like, oh, if I don't buy this right now, it's gonna be gone. I'll never find it again.
Yeah.
Like that's seriously 9 out of 10 times that's not how it is. 9 out of 10 times you're gonna find it.
Man.
Some of them are very rare, and some of them you might need to do that. But generally, no. Like 99% of the statues out there, you'll find them. They'll be for sale. Someone will be selling it. So yeah,
they'll probably be selling it for more than what it would have been at the pre-order price, but you can still get it.
Yeah.
But sometimes people sell it also because they need money, and they sell it at the retail price. So
yeah, that's true.
And that's when you ask. That's when you should ask someone like me, because I pretty much know the value of every statue. Not every statue, but a good majority. I've been collecting statues for a long time. I know pretty much every statue, even custom statues and all this kind of stuff. So it's good to have a friend that knows, like, hey, I'm getting, someone offered me for this much money. Is that a good deal? And if it's a good deal, yes, buy it. If it's not, don't buy it. Just wait.
Yeah.
So be patient. Patience is key in this hobby. Do not be hasty.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my advice.
Okay.
So Shadosha, I'm looking at you. Don't go.
Yes, nuts. Yeah, I'm a chill. I was like, ooh, I see something. There's not just statues. I was actually looking at I'm getting space finally. I got to put a nice little wall of Sega Saturn stuff up, man. But I don't want to go too crazy. So you know what I'm saying. I was about to go OD thrift shopping. Chill. Wait a minute, you might find a better case out there. Just chill out. You right.
Listen, when you move down to Austin, man, you're going to have more space. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So just,
sure.
Listen, I'm going to connect you with my realtor. She's going to hook you up, let you know what's good. You know what I'm saying?
Excited. Let's go. I'll be right up north.
Yes, dude. That is really good advice too.
Yeah, helps a lot. I appreciate that.
There's a few statues that I missed out on because I was like, I don't have the money right now. Maybe I will later.
I hope it wasn't that Tifa statue. Everybody FOMO'd on that one. I'll stop. Let me stop. We'll troll later.
Which one are you talking about?
Let me stop.
Which one are you talking about?
Don't even matter. We're going to keep it clean.
The final. Clean. Oh, you mean Final Fantasy? The Final
Fantasy. Final Fantasy one. Yeah, it was the Tifa one. It was unofficial.
It was unofficial. The Jacko one where she did the...
Yes. That was one of them. Apparently there was 2 of them, by the way. But listen. We'll troll later. That was hilarious.
A little NSFW.
That was a wild week, and I was like, all right, I am getting off of this social platform. It was just too horny, bro. I was like, no, I can't do this, man. Come on. It wasn't even Tuesday.
Dude.
Hey,
it was still Monday.
It wasn't even Tuesday, bro.
It was crazy, bro. I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. Oh, no.
Yeah. There's a lot of horny Tifa statues. There's a lot.
I ain't mad at it at all.
Anime.
I feel like that's a statue collector subsection. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being too much.
No, you're not wrong.
Dude. The Tifa section.
Dude, there's a life size My Shiruni. Am I saying that right?
My Shiruni. Yeah.
Yeah. And like my Shiranui,
There are
that
a ton of
one
statues of
is
her.
like,
She's
dude,
not wearing
people,
anything in fam. Nah, not life size though. If someone's
life
gonna
size.
walk in on that,
Oh, big time.
that's a whole lot of
You know.
space in it. Never mind. Wow.
It's a whole lot of real estate those take up.
Yeah, I think yeah.
He's thinking about getting it. He's like,
I unthought
No,
it.
I'm
I
kidding.
did. I unthought it. I did think it, but I unthought it.
You know,
Nah,
the
I
thought
can't
is
do
there,
that.
and you're like,
Nah, second Saturn comes first. Mine can wait. Mine can wait.
yeah, get the. I mean, Sega Saturn stuff. I mean, I'm assuming at this point, I've never, looked into getting Sega Saturn stuff now, but I'm assuming
Right.
it's harder to come by. Obviously,
Yeah, there's
I
a
did
few
have one. I did have a Sega Saturn though. I did have one.
Yeah, there's a
Mm.
few titles that are like way expensive now. Like I think it was like Bug or Bug 2 was like $5,000 or something crazy. No, maybe not $5,000. Maybe it was like $500. But I was like, for Bug? I played both Bugs. It wasn't that goddamn much. I ain't trying to pay.
You talking about
I was
Bugsy?
like, no, not Bug.
$5,000.
Bug. I know it might have been $500. I'm just making that number up. But like it might have been like $500.
Oh.
But yeah, a copy of Bug was a lot. I was like, whoa, this game was ass when I played it. I remember. But I understand there wasn't a lot of them.
But what about Knights though?
That's what I was thinking. I
I
think
mean,
Knights
I think
might be more available. The
Makes
Knights
sense.
might be more available.
Might be more expensive now though, because
Clockwork Knight 1 and 2 was on my list as well. Like there was a bunch of games I wanted to give. And the biggest one though, and I think the hardest one to find is Corpse Killer. That one's just hard to find. So like
I'm not familiar with that.
right now I'm just a hobbyist. I'm just looking it up. But yeah, Corpse Killer for some reason, even though they re-released it, it's still probably the most difficult game to find on was that I don't know if I take that back. That might have been Sega CD, not Saturn. But yeah, Corpse Killer was expensive and hard to find. Let me
yeah.
look it up. But yeah,
Do you have a Sega Saturn right now, and you're playing
I have
games
two.
and stuff, and like,
You got
Oh,
two
you
Sega
have two, okay,
Saturns?
I have two. Yeah. I don't have them with me. Ironically enough, they're at my mother's house.
See?
oh, dude,
Storage spot.
I kept it at my mother's
Honestly,
house. Yeah.
I got stuff at my mom's house too.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just a good safe haven
For
to
sure.
have stuff at your mom's house.
For sure.
She ain't
Sometimes
in that room. It's
Absolutely.
fine.
That's a fact.
until you get kids.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier about how, a lot of YouTubers will be able to tell you like what's a good statue, what's not a good statue, the value of it, not just monetarily, but like from a enthusiast standpoint. What, in your opinion, makes a good and bad statue?
Okay. First and foremost, it's the sculpt. You can. The thing is, you can take a bad sculpt and put good paint on it and make it look better. But like, it's always going to be a lot better when the sculpt is top notch to begin with, right? I mean, I guess actually first and foremost would kind of just be like, I suppose like the overall.
Flow.
This is a hard question.
It is
Sorry.
a hard question. It wasn't on the list, but I was just thinking to myself.
No. I mean, yeah, because like I don't really think about it. I'm just looking, when I see a statue, promoted on Facebook or whatever. First and foremost is I do look at the sculpt. I think that's probably the main thing I kind of hone in on. Because a lot of people are like, oh, that's Wolverine. Cool. I'll buy it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can't. There's a million Wolverine statues. You gotta, the concept. Okay, maybe first is concept. What is the statue portraying?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's the first thing to kind of look at, right? Is it a cool concept? And for me, I like simple things. It's gonna be very subjective to the collector. I like simple. I really like museum statues, but I do like dynamic, just not crazy dynamic, and it depends on the character.
Okay.
If it's a character that does dynamic stuff, cool, have a dynamic statue of that character. But if you have a dynamic statue of a character that is not known for that, that's kind of weird. So I mean, there's so many factors, but I mean, essentially, it's kind of just like aesthetically pleasing to your eye. Is that aesthetically pleasing to you? Okay, it is. And then you kind of hone in on, oh, look, look at their hand. It's sculpted like shit. You know, it looks
Yeah.
very weird.
Yeah.
You know, their finger looks weird. That's wrong. That's anatomically incorrect, right?
Mhm.
So there's so many variables that make a good statue. And like you can have a really cool statue that is sculpted okay, but like the concept is just brilliant, right? The worst thing to me is when you have a brilliant concept, a brilliant sculpt, and then the paint job sucks. That's like the biggest bummer.
Sounds frightening. Oh God.
Yeah.
And that happens. That does happen.
It
I
does.
mean, less so nowadays. A lot with custom statues,
Mhm.
unlicensed statues, that
Mhm.
happens a lot because you don't have like a company that's making sure it looks perfect.
Right.
So that does happen, and that's probably the biggest bummer. That's the biggest bummer in my opinion.
Yeah. I've seen
Oh.
This is probably one that every statue collector probably knows exactly what I'm about to talk about. Sideshow Collectibles had a rogue statue from ages ago.
The
Where
one where she's like going like this and she's floating, or the one she's like the museum
one.
Yeah. Okay.
You
yeah.
know what I'm talking
I got
about.
it. I know. Oh yeah, 100%.
There's something called
Oh.
googly eyes, which is exactly what it sounds like, where the paint job is just so bad. Like not even just any one particular thing, like just all of it was just bad. But specifically the eyes, because when they make these statues, the eyes are all painted on. Or depending on like how they're doing it, sometimes they use glass eyes and they do a different technique. So when they're doing mass production of these statues, and there are people like hand painting each individual statue, something that a lot of people don't know as well. Sometimes they don't do a good job. So
So you ended up with a cross-eyed rogue. That's what happened. Oh no!
I'm going to show an example on stream in a second.
That was a huge debacle, and that was like before really Facebook.
Mhm.
So that was all on the forums. It was a huge. I actually bought that statue. I sold it like right after I bought it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. That is an example of a very good sculpt. The sculpt is very good. I forgot who sculpted it, but a very, very, very well-known master sculptor sculpted that statue.
Mhm.
It was the paint that ruined it, which is, again, it's a shame. I've seen repaints of that statue, and it looks like it's supposed to. It looks amazing. It
Yeah.
looks super good. But the factory didn't screwed it up.
I feel like ironically enough now, like just with the way the world works, like I feel like there's such a high value in the fact that it was so bad and it was discontinued. I feel like people are intentionally collecting googly-eyed rogues just because of the sentimental value it had and the impact it had at the time.
I feel like that would be a thing.
That's such a thing nowadays. So
That's
it is worth more money than retail. It
yeah,
is worth
I
more money.
figured. I mean, what do you know?
Yeah, so
Would
you're
I
right.
want it in my collection? No.
For sure.
But there's because they made another Rogue after.
Yeah.
Like this was probably like 7 years ago, and that one is considered the best Rogue, and I think it is probably the best Rogue there is right now, licensed or unlicensed. It's very beautiful.
Are you talking about the one where she had the saw arm?
Yeah,
Yeah, I have that one, and unfortunately, because I was packing it for this move here, the original sculpt with the long, like the straight hair, ended up like the hair at the bottom ended up getting damaged. Broke my heart a little bit.
Well, okay, two things. The other one is better. The other sculpt, the other head, the one with the curly hair.
Yes, I agree.
That's the one everyone
Way
wants,
better,
right?
Way better.
If it's broken, you can get it fixed. You can get it fixed easily to like better than new. So I can facilitate that if you need me to. Yeah. Do you have all the pieces?
Yeah, all the pieces are in the box.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Easy. It's not hard. It's very simple.
Okay.
Boom.
All
Just
right.
hit me up if you want.
Yeah,
Problem solved.
absolutely.
Dang. All right. Look at this.
Yeah, that's awesome. My heart sank down to my asshole when it happened because it happened at the end of wrapping everything up.
Yeah.
And it was the last statue I had to pack. And so I'm tired. I'm like, all right, I just have this one last thing. And literally, it's on a carpeted surface. I took the two heads. I was like, all right, I'm putting them in the box. And I literally just like turned it around to make sure. I was like, should I put it in this way or should I put it in that way? And it slipped out of my hand. And I shit you, like the distance between the floor and my hand was like this. It fell right at an angle to break it. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. Damn.
You got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's not the end of the world.
Yes.
Don't calm. It's okay. It can be fixed easily. So yeah, don't worry. That's
Okay.
what I'll say. Don't worry. Don't let it keep you up at night.
I mean, I haven't thought about it in a little while, but yeah, no, I definitely.
But tonight you're gonna have a nightmare.
Literally, I was just like, man, I can recall every moment that happened in between that time.
Yeah, I have had like dreams of like someone like smashing my statue collection, which is so like
Savage.
messed up.
Yeah.
that I have those dreams, and it's like something in my psyche that that like it manifests as a dream,
Yeah.
and like it's a sad dream. That's weird, and I don't like it. But I've had it, so whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna take a bathroom break.
Oh yeah, please go
Is
ahead.
that cool?
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I think that was like the last question I had in terms of interview questions. But yeah, this is really good to expose this community to, as well as the YouTube community. I got introduced to like statues, like for real. After I bought, I've had action figures, and then I had like one anime figure that I got, an anime statue. And then like I started learning more about the other types of ones that were out there. And I was like, holy shit, there's so much.
Yeah.
Like, how do I pick which ones to get?
Right.
And there was this one storm statue I'm going to show on screen in a second that this is one of those FOMO ones, because at the time I was like, man, that seems like a lot of money, but I also really do like it.
Right.
It was like $900 at the time.
Oh,
But it's way more now because there haven't been that many great storm statues.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna show this one on screen because it just the artistry of it is just so good.
It's a beauty. Yeah, like for something like that, yeah. The level of detail. I mean, look at them abs.
I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you
She
something.
laughing? Wait, is it two or is that the same one?
It's the same statue with different heads and different poses. So
that's crazy.
the way they did this shit was insane. So like there was this pose, which like dynamic, beautiful, flowy.
Yeah.
And then there was this one, like you can swap the arms out and the head out, and now it's a whole different pose.
Yeah.
that's dope.
It's crazy how these both look like they're still in motion, and it's obviously stills.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at pictures, and you're right. It feels like it's in motion. That's
And
really hard to pull off.
It comes down to the hair. It comes down to the flow of the cape. It comes down to the pose itself. It comes down to the expressions and like the weight distribution. All that shit had to be thought of when they were putting this together.
Right.
And
Oh, that's a dope piece.
And like obviously we need more black representation. But like this statue here is just so goddamn gorgeous.
Yeah, it's dope, and I don't freak out when I see the prices for stuff like this. I mean, they are high. Like, I mean, you better be a serious collector to get something like this. But
Right. For
like,
sure.
I remember when I was joking about it, but that Tifa statue that we were making fun of, when I saw the prices and everybody freaked out, I was like, that's pretty cheap. Because it was like, I think I don't even call it the base one. I don't even remember which one it was exactly. But it was like $750. I was like, wow, that's not a lot. That is not a lot for something. And I mean, the quality and the detail, I probably saw more than I needed to, but it was really good. It was really good. It was a lot of detail. It was a whole lot of just fine tuning that happened there. So for something to be like that price, I mean, and then again, I talked about this earlier, but yeah, I was really looking at some of these life-size busts and stuff like that. I was going to make a joke about a life-size Galactus piece, but I let it go. That's too much. But these things, they're not cheap. Yeah. They're not cheap. The Infinity Gauntlet, I saw that, and that alone, I feel like that was the cheapest thing that I saw, which is
probably like $500.
$520.
Yeah.
Totally worth it. I think that's
was it the Iron Man one or was it the original Gauntlet?
I think it's the Nano Gauntlet, so the Iron Man one.
Yeah, that shit looks
dope.
nice.
And
Yeah.
I think there's only 3,000 printed. I'm not too sure. Someone's gonna have to quote me on that. Oh no, it doesn't matter. But I was gonna say it might have been 3,000, but I might have gotten that wrong. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, for something like that, I mean, that's a genuine collector's items, and I just feel like there's so many resources you need to. I mean, paying attention to detail is one thing, but I'm pretty sure there's real gems in there. I'm pretty sure, you know, there's replicas or references that you can use, and I'm pretty sure it's a 1-to-1. So I mean, yeah, you're getting what you pay for. This is a true collectible for a true collector. So I think that's really dope.
Yeah. Switching gears, switching to I guess games.
Right.
What are y'all playing? And you know, Todd, feel free to chime in on I guess the last thing you've played. But we can start with Audio Lover. What are you playing, man? What's on your docket?
I'm really trying to wrap up Horizon Forbidden West.
Gotcha.
I finally wrapped up Catherine.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Holy crap! Like,
so what is that game?
Holy crap!
Yeah.
It's a puzzle-based game.
Yeah.
But
with goats and girls and
like
mind twists.
Yeah, like sheep and like I don't like if you've never played this game.
Yeah.
No. On some real like I remember this game from the PS3, and I don't know how the difference between the PS3 and the PS4. Because I just remember playing the demo on the PS3, and I was always like, yo, I gotta get this game. And I never got the game on the PS3. Don't know why. Just never had time or whatever the case may be, right? I ended up purchasing the game on sale last year on my PS4, but like I have a really bad problem buying games on sale. And my backlog like it's really bad. Like my backlog is really bad right now.
Right.
I had to make like a list, and like I had to like figure out like, okay, I'll never play these games, so I brought it down to like less than 100 games, and I'm trying to bring that down to like at least 50. But Catherine was one of those games I was like, no, I gotta finish this game because I started it or whatever, and literally like the first 10 minutes of the game, you're like, oh, what the hell is going on?
Yes.
It's really one of those games.
There's a lot to it. Yeah, it's a very twist and turny game.
Yes.
The set pieces are crazy. The gameplay, when you get into it, I mean, it makes sense, but you wouldn't expect that. You definitely wouldn't expect, oh, I gotta climb up here, I gotta dodge this. Oh, the floor is falling from under. It's like, what? But all of that has like a psychological appeal to it. Like it makes sense. There's a continuity that comes together, man. It's crazy.
That game is probably one of it has to be one of my favorite games of just like forever.
Catherine had a big buzz when it came out too. It was
did.
everywhere. I remember going to E3 and it was everywhere.
Yeah, like if you've never played Catherine, like I don't care if you don't like puzzle, like believe me, like you will love this game.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like, storytelling, like it's just unique. It's a very I don't want to say anything to spoil anything. That's the thing about this game.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those types of games.
It's a trip.
I don't know what it is at all, and I just was watching the trailer.
Yeah.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It looks amazing and nonsensical, and I'm like, I don't.
If that was a show, I'd want to watch it.
Yeah.
And you could go back and basically, so like, at least in the full body experience, you could like every time you beat, I'll say this every time you beat like a certain set of puzzles, you go back and it's an anime clip or whatever the case may be, but you could replay those clips.
As like a full.
And you can play them in full, right?
Yeah.
So okay. Got
it. But just like how you go into not for nothing, you're basically this guy who is trying to climb up a tower in his dreams, and you start realizing why you're in these or nightmares. You start to realize why you're in these nightmares. And basically that's kind of the premise, but there's way more to it.
There's more to it for sure. Oh yeah.
So, like I said, I don't want to.
It's good.
Yeah, and I'm happy I played it now than I did 10 years ago. In all honesty, just like my maturity level of playing this game, I don't think I would have taken it in the way I took it in today.
Interesting. Okay.
So, but yeah, no, definitely, like, it's one of those games, like, it came in at the tail end of that PS3 era too.
It did.
So, like, I think it was because it might have been because, like, I was like trying to save for a PS4 or whatever the case may be, but like I remember it coming in that tail end of the PS3 era. But
So
yeah,
did you like happen upon it kind of, or like you were you always like, oh, I want to get that game, or were you just like, oh, look at this game, and then you kind of happened
I wanted to get that game. And I kind of knew the gameplay, but I didn't understand the premise because the demo, the PS3 demo, was literally, I think it was maybe 1 or 2 levels of the puzzle. It was never a cutscene or any of that nature. So like you didn't know anything of the game other than, okay, it's a puzzle based game, and like it's cool. It's difficult as hell. I'm not gonna, like, playing it on normal was hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going.
It's a tough game. Very tough game.
Like, I remember I played it on stream on hard, and I was like, "What the hell am I doing?" Not me. Like, I can't do this. Like, I thought I was intelligent enough, and like over time, like, yeah, maybe you could like get it. But
it's like playing DJ Hero on hardest mode. It's like, bro,
I missed them days. I broke my whole mixer trying that crap.
Never again.
Like, everything was blended. It's blends now. It's bleeding. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
My first playthrough, it was not worth it for me. It was like, you know what? I could play this on normal my first playthrough and feel like I am being challenged. It's okay.
Yeah,
I feel that.
That's great. Yeah, I never played Catherine, but I heard so many people tell me to try it. So I think you're the final nail in the coffin. I'm gonna try it.
Boom.
It's not a super long game either, right? Like, it is by the same people who made Persona, but it's nowhere near that length.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the replay value is there. Like, you can get different endings.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I mean, it took me, for my first playthrough, I think it legitimately took me 13 hours after like figuring out puzzles and like, okay, wait, this is what I'm supposed to do and things like that. But I genuinely think it could take you 8 to 10 hours legitimately, like, in my honest opinion.
Shadosha, what you been playing?
So admittedly, even though I'm retired, there's a tournament season came back around, and it didn't help that I went to Texas. I should not have gone to Houston because I got the bug a little bit. I'm not gonna compete this weekend in Combo Breaker, but I will be at Evo this year, so I'll be playing some Virtual Fighter again. I've been spending a lot of time just training the community. I just want to see them do better. Like, I've been playing that game for 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to pass the baton, honestly. But until somebody can stop me from bullying them, I'm gonna keep playing the game. That's just how it goes. But yeah, no, a whole lot of VF has been played lately. When I have time, again, and most of it has been some for content, but mostly just so the community gets stronger. I really want to see them do well when the international competitors show up later on this year, and they're not coming to play. They have been playing for a while. They're getting stronger and stronger. I know for sure that we can pick on them. We even win, maybe even win. We got some strong players here. I won't name everybody, but I know Gentleman Thief is one of them. Me, my friend Adam. There's a few people that are just insane and can keep up still. But I mean, the more solid players, the better. So I mean, yeah, I just want to get everybody trained up and ready. Just thinking on the same speed because we got to take the crown from them. Japan's got to lose one, man. They can't keep robbing us, man. They can't keep doing this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But that's the goal. That's the overall goal.
Feel that. I miss Virtual Fighter, but I feel like if I try to jump back in there now with you, shit.
You learn something with me, but yeah, I mean, like a lot. I gotta be honest, people are getting better. They are finally getting better. I don't know if that's like because more resources open up. I know a few Japanese players came to the States,
Yeah,
and have been, they just addicted to the game, so they want to play more with whoever's around. But they've been sharing a lot of knowledge and things, and they're just a little bit more revered. So even though that I was sharing some of that stuff, some of our peers are sharing some of that stuff. Just to have more people around to share the philosophies in between, and then actually practice with them a lot more. Just having more people to do that, I think that really helped them out. So for real, they're getting good. I'm happy to do it. I can't just beat people up the way I used to. I got to struggle now. They still losing, but they got to struggle. I got to struggle now. You know what I'm saying? So I take it. I do what I can. But no, it's been a blast. And then other than that, just I'm just enjoying the esports world again for a little while before I start getting back into the crazy stuff I used to play. I like to play the wild stuff, dating sims.
Yes.
Anything that looks like I shouldn't be playing it, I'm probably playing it. You know what I'm saying? Bad point and click games, like just dumb stuff. If it's dumb and random and Shadosha, why are you playing Barbie? I'm playing it. That's me. I gotta just throw people off sometimes, man, just to get a little mystique or something like that. But no, that'll come back. But I want to wait until after Evo because I really want to see where North America stands versus the rest of the country in a couple of games, but specifically just for me from a competitive standpoint for Virtual Fighter. Yeah, that's it. And then once it's over, I'm retired.
Back on your bullshit.
Yeah, be an extra. You already know. For sure.
Hey Todd, what was the last game you remember playing?
Okay. Over when I had COVID, right? I watched the Tony Hawk documentary. That Tony Hawk documentary. I think you know where this is going.
Yes, I do.
And then so I watched it on Friday night, and then I bought Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the remake or whatever.
Yes.
And then I got it like maybe Sunday, and I played it for like 20 minutes, and that was the last game I played.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I mean, so, okay, like I bought, my buddies were playing MLB, one of the MLB games on PS4. Yeah. And they were playing it. And they were like talking about it. They're like, you should get it and it would be fun. We could all play. So I bought that. This was like maybe in this like last summer.
Yeah.
So almost a year ago. And I bought it. I played that for like 20 minutes. Never played it again. then like a few months ago, Elden Ring came out, and everyone's like, Elden Ring, get Elden Ring. I love like Lord of the Rings and blah 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 and all that stuff. So I bought that. I literally never have played it.
Oh man!
I never played it once.
So you're lucky. You get to keep some of your hair. Like that's why I got a hat on. My hairline is gone because of that damn thing, bro.
So
really,
I don't know.
Is it that nuts?
I don't know.
It's hard, but no,
I don't know if people told you like what it is, or if they were just like, you should get it.
I know. Definitely not. They didn't tell me what it. I like fantasy, and I like Lord of the Rings. I like Game of Thrones. Well, so is it not like what is it?
It is. It is like that.
It's that. But is it an RPG?
Yes.
I don't even know what it is.
It's an RPG. It is an RPG,
okay.
And actually, it is kind of good because I remember it was. Elden Ring specifically, it had a lot of buzz and hype around it because it was written by George R.R. Martin. So,
yes,
Game of Thrones is a similar realm, and the storytelling is just as top notch as you would think it would be. My only beef with that whole From Software stuff, it's very open ended, and if you're not paying attention or discovering things in between, you're gonna miss a lot of the story. So that's annoying. But if you want to be immersed in that realm, that Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings kind of realm, that game is there. Yes, and they'll beat the shit out of you too. Like if you also want to get frustrated because you're getting your ass kicked, you will do a lot lot of respawning in that world. They will destroy you. That game is beautiful and hard at the same time. It's just crazy. But it's a dope game. Dope game for sure.
It's one of those games where I feel like you can let yourself just get immersed in it. Yeah. And there's no rush to get through it. Like I'm still on my first playthrough, and like I'm in no rush to get to the end because I'm just like taking in new environments and enemies and stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff not connected to the story just there, so you can get lost real easy in that game. And it's like you'll get something done. It's not like you're just wandering around like, where do I go? It's like, I discovered this. Let me see this through, and you'll get an experience from that. Like, oh, that was neat. All right,
Yes.
cool. Well, I'm leveled up now. Let me go do something else. And most of the time, you'll be dying in the middle, so you'll have a lot of time to just spend on that specific thing, which is pretty dope. Yeah, it's cool. It's good for that.
Yeah, I think that's the game I want to play the most. Like I want to, and maybe someday I will.
Yeah.
Are you guys more console gamers than PC whatever gamers? Or
I'm PC now all the way.
Yeah.
I used to be console. I used to be a big console person. I'm PC. I'm using 2 PCs just to do this podcast right now. Yeah. But I am PC'd up. That's just the way I grow.
Yeah.
I think I'm still the only one that's like on console.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm on console, but it's more so like I'm playing specific games on console versus all of my games on console.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I see.
And because I'm like content creation and like doing the custom overlays and like getting my sound system connected in a specific way, like all that's just PC kind of revolving. So it's kind of natural that like I'm leaning more towards PC because of the other stuff that I do.
I see.
And like, I also do graphic design and illustration, so I'm always on my computers, like doing work or doing gaming work.
Yeah.
But like, like I don't know. Again, I'm just asking questions, but like, it seems like if you're doing all that on the computer, having like a separate, like leaving that arena, if you will, and going to like your TV. I don't know. The reason why I've always gravitated towards consoles, and again, I'm not a huge gamer, so I don't know, but like it was because you're like on a couch with a controller far away, big screen. And obviously you can have a big screen on a PC too, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's just actually, I'm just interested in, because I know there's like not a rivalry, but there's always like
there used to be a big
get it on
rivalry.
PC, get it on console. I don't know.
Yeah, most people don't watch TV anymore, so they like. All right, but me personally, the way I do it is I have a big monitor. So if I wanna just lock in and just play something, like if I'm going try hard, like real sweaty, I'm at my desk and I'm playing, right? But I've always been and will always be a controller player. So I can always just fire something up on my monitor and then just sit back like it's a regular TV experience. And TVs are getting better nowadays, so you really can do that and still have great response time, yada yada, so on and so forth.
Yeah,
and I mean, most people don't watch television as much. Well, okay, I won't say like that.
They're streaming
they still
it
watch
on like
TV,
Netflix.
But they're streaming things, right? So a bulk of people, if they don't have a smart TV, will They'll have a computer setup, maybe not something intense, maybe it's something strong enough to be a streaming PC, but they'll have that in a great connection and they'll still kick it on the couch. So yeah, that's another reason why cloud-based gaming got really big, because you can do the same thing. You don't have to actually buy a console. You can get a subscription on one of your smart TVs and a controller and have that same gaming experience that you would get playing on a console.
On a PC.
But yeah, you're sitting on your couch. So yeah, it's dope. Yeah, you can do all that good stuff. Yeah, it's awesome.
So Virtua Fighter, you're playing that on
I had to play that on PS3.
Oh, okay.
What about the one that they made on the PS4, the remake? The remaster.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I did say PS3.
That's okay.
I'm playing it on PS4 right
It was
now.
on PS3 originally. Yeah,
it was on PS3 originally. That was years ago. Yeah, and then they made a remastered-ish version. I mean, it plays exactly the same. They just updated the graphics and stuff. So I guess it would be a remaster. But yeah, that is on PS4. And then I mean, I stream it, so I'm always sitting in front of my PC. But yeah, when I'm in try-hard mode, this big old ugly arcade stick comes out, and it's what best time. You already know.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You gotta have that. You got. I mean,
speaking of collection, this is another thing that I wanted to get into collecting. I'll probably put it next to my Sega Saturns, stuff like that.
The
but
fight
arcade
sticks.
Yeah. The goal is to get some signed. I mean, by other players and stuff like that, just to have it. But yeah, no, I want to really upgrade these bad boys.
Right.
Yeah, because I've learned since I've used them, and I've used so many, I appreciate the craftsmanship now in these in the JLFs, the OLFs, the buttons, all of that stuff. It makes sense to me now.
Click. Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, right. I understand where the value comes from, even when playing, because like my execution is different based on
It's way
the spring
different.
I have. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nuts.
Mhm.
I use like I showed you this one. This one is a Korean top stick, but for example, the spring inside of it is so tight I can perform better than on my Japanese stick, where
Which
the
is
spring is a lot
loose.
looser.
Yes.
Right. So, but at the same time, like I would never play King of Fighters with my Korean stick because it's too tight, and I need to do quick motions real fast. I can swing a ball top with a one spring in there, right? Like I can get that out quick and then be done with it. Because I mean, it's just see, I'm nerding out now, and I'm loving it. But then,
No, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
That's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Super cool.
And some TBG in the chat just talked about how he loves playing console mostly for couch co-op, and Army of Two favorite co-op game. So I've actually been playing a lot of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is like
I gotta turn that on. I have it.
I
have it twice, and I haven't played it yet.
It's cross-play, so that's the really beautiful thing about it. Wherever you play it, you can play it with your friends.
Yeah.
And it's one of the few games that still support couch co-op play, which is a shame because I wish more games like kept doing that. Not even Halo has it. Like,
yeah, in the world where screens are getting bigger and cheaper, there's no split screen gaming happening.
Yeah,
You're right.
Split screen gaming
That's a
is
good point.
it doesn't make any sense. So like me and my wife, we play that together, and like it's a first of all, it's just beautiful that like we're able to do it in the first place. But like she loves Borderlands, and so I'm excited anytime we get to play that together because she's nerding out and I'm nerding out, and it's just this beautiful experience we're sharing together. That in so many games you really can't do that anymore because they just got rid of the ability to do it.
They want people to buy more consoles and more games.
They definitely got me with that because I got 2 of everything. I hate that. Just so I could play with somebody if they stop by. It's just dumb. I just thought about that. I gotta get my life together.
But that's what they drove us to, though, right? Like, they didn't give us
I got
any
2
other
computers
option.
too. I just thought about that. 2 computers too. Shit, this is a bad habit. Oh God.
Maybe you got OCD too. Hold on.
Yeah, I might. Double trouble.
Yes. So we've been here for a while, talking on the podcast for a minute. I want to try to respect y'all's times as well. I guess the really big thing I really wanted to talk about, I don't have that much to say about it, but I feel like it's worth talking about at least a little bit, which is less on the gaming side and more on the just real life side. 2 things. One, less serious, but still important, is validation in our profession. So I guess I want to hear from everybody. What was the most memorable time you could think of where you felt validated in what you do, whether it was content creation or creative or like, a workplace thing or even running your own business and seeing things culminate. What was that moment where you were just like, people get what I'm doing and they know I'm doing it well? And whoever wants to start.
I'll go.
Yeah. It's a hard question, but I feel like it's important to talk about.
For me, it was, I went to New York Comic Con for the first time. It was 2019. It was right before COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, I went by myself, and I was going to meet up with fellow statue collectors and blah, blah, blah. And I was very scared. I had only been on an airplane like 2 other times, so it was just like a bunch of random, a bunch of things that were like weird about it, right?
Yeah.
I went and I met up with some collectors that I met on Facebook. I'd never met them in real life. And there was we went to this like Sideshow Collectibles after party.
Ooh.
And like we all weren't supposed to be there. It was like you had to have a ticket or whatever. I don't know. But we got in, and I just remember this one guy, my friend. Now we're friends. His name's Sam, and he just was like, "Hey man, what you do is so cool." he said that to me, like the most sincere thing. And I was like, it was like one of these things where I never thought about like what I was doing was cool or important, but it, like, the fact that to some people it was an important thing, like, I guess selling, a good place to get statues from, or whatever you want to say. He was sincere about it, and it was just like, it really was just like, whoa, it really did validate it. It really did validate what I was doing, because I've never taken. Not that I've never taken it seriously, but like, it was just something that I was like, I do this, I'm just shipping statues to people that, whatever. But that really did validate it for me, and it was a surprise, and it meant a lot to me, and it really made me feel good. And that night it was a very fun night, very fun time at New York Comic Con, and yeah, so that's mine.
That's dope. Yeah, I feel I can empathize with that a lot, because you don't really think about the impact of what you're doing, or like what you're doing beyond just making sure everything is running smoothly. Like, it's really, really hard to think outside of that.
Yeah. And I mean, bringing happiness to someone, like, it does bring happiness to people, in a lot of ways. So yeah, I didn't think of it in that way. And then it really kind of just was like, oh, okay, thank you. It was just like, I was just grateful, and I was like, wow, it really did make it all worthwhile, I guess. So,
yeah. Feel that.
Yeah.
Whichever one of y'all want to go, I can go as well.
Yeah, you go first. Yeah, you take it.
Okay. So it's so funny. I'm the one asking these questions, and so often I don't even have the answer lined up for what it is. But I can at least speak to one of my first outings at PAX East. So a little bit of background about me and what I've done prior to where I am now. I started the Black Only podcast ages ago, back in like 2013 or 2014. In between that time, we took some time off to like focus on, work and stuff. But I went to PAX East. Prior to that, I wanted to get a job in the games industry, and I wanted it bad. Like, I was applying to internships at GameSpot and IGN and Kotaku and Polygon and websites that were much smaller than them. I was applying to be designers at these companies, or working at Epic, or working at Kojima Productions. Like, I applied to, like, I don't want to say every gaming job that applied to me, but like pretty much. And it was always no, right? Or it was always just, you never heard anything back. So I was like, all right, well, maybe this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. I didn't hear back from some of these people. Obviously, as I got older, I understood the kind of the mechanics of how hiring works. But at the time, it felt really shitty. And so here I was like, all right, at this point, no one wants me, but people clearly want to hear from me, because every time I talk about it or discuss it or bring it up in any social interaction with real people or even online, people stop and listen. So I'm like, where's this disconnect, right? Like, people want my shit, but they don't want me enough to hire me. What is happening? I started my own website, blackonlyblog.com, where I was writing articles and a bunch of other people were writing articles as well. I was leading a small team of people working on that website, and it gained a lot of traction. So I went to PAX East. I got my microphone. What was it? Not the banner. What was it called? The thing where you can like.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, the little box that goes underneath. I
forget what it's called.
I just forgot what it was called, but I know what you're talking about.
So I got one of those. I got my camera. I got someone who was also going to the convention, just helping me set things up for interviews and stuff. And I realized after having several interviews and conversations with people at the show that people thought that like I was a bigger publication than I was, because I was bringing my full self to that experience. And like I was interviewing them with questions that they hadn't heard anyone ask them before. And like these are people who've been in the public eye for like years, sometimes decades.
Yeah. It's called a mic flag, by the way.
Flag, that's what it was, the mic flag.
Mic flag. Sorry, I had to look it up.
Yeah, no, listen, I got that because I was like, listen, I'm coming correct and I'm coming with everything I got.
Yeah.
And once, like, I distinctly remember a time when I was waiting in line to try out the Oculus, and I had the press badge. Again, have no idea how I pulled that off, but like I was just giving everything that I got.
Those are fun times. I remember that.
Yes. So I got the press badge. I'm in the line, and I asked this simple question. I was like, man, how long has this line been going? And she's like, oh, this is like an hour-long wait. And she looks at my badge, and then she looks at me, and then she looks at my microphone. She's like, what are you doing in this line? I was like, I'm just going to try it out and interview after. She was like, nah. She takes me to the side, waits for the next person to finish, and then like gets me like hands-on with the Oculus Rift. It was like one of the first times they had it on public display. And I was just looking around like, I don't think this is supposed to be happening, but maybe it is. And like all throughout that convention, like people were taking me really seriously. They were like being very vocal and aware of like, I have this presence, and that was probably.
And he never waited in a line again. God damn it!
Nah, that's not true.
You took yourself seriously. You took yourself seriously.
Yeah. And I, honestly, for me, that was like one of the biggest validating moments because, like, again, years prior to that, it had been radio silence. It had been no's. It had been wait until you have a bigger following. It had been all of these different things of just like, no. And I've never been the kind to just be discouraged by no. It's like, all right, if it ain't yes now, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to yes as the next step. Yeah, that was it for me. I mean, there's been a bunch of times in between that time too, where, you know, doing that logo work for David Hayter, like,
that was dope. Yeah, that was super dope.
I lost my shit.
Yeah, super dope. That was crazy.
Literally could have gone to any. This is Hollywood. Like literally, he is doing production for TV shows, doing screenwriting for movies, doing voice acting for games. He could have gone to any company or any other person to get this kind of thing done. And he was just like, you know what, I love your work, and I want you to be the lead for the new brand that we're moving forward with. Yeah, those are the two moments right there.
Yeah, that's godlike. I like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's super inspiring. Like,
oh yeah.
Beautiful.
We come from the same background, so I'll go next. So I think I started before. Yeah, I definitely did. I think I started in 2009.
Yeah.
Jumping into the gaming world for the most part. I mean, I played video games before that, but to the point where I knew something was there. It had to be 2009. What makes this story unique is that, you know, I didn't know this at the time, but I found this out as I went by. There weren't a lot of Black people in this space, in the gaming space. And again, I didn't care because I just didn't think of race. I'm a gamer gaming with gamers. That's all I thought about. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't care, and I still don't. Mm-hmm. But I'll never forget. I mean, my beginnings were humble. I was a player. I just wanted to win. I was loud, and I wanted to be loud. This is me. Those are my two favorite things at the time was playing video games and being loud. And I was very good at both. And you know, as time went by, I mean, I had so many opportunities to get big-headed about it because my first nod when I got in was from Samsung, straight up, right? Like right out the gate, I don't really know what's going on, and here's Samsung, hey, come back and do that again. That seems cool. So fast forward and a little bit later on down the line, I'll never forget. I mean, this came off of a silly idea. I'll never forget when I took that dumb bus ride from Connecticut to San Francisco.
Woo!
That was a bad idea, terrible idea. But what was even crazier about it was just Sega was a company I looked up to highly, and for them to not only, I mean, I feel like a part of them had to acknowledge the fact that I did something crazy like that, but the fact that they kept calling me back because, you know, it's like, you know, we love this game, we share this game, but you just make this game so much fun to look at. That was awesome, and I appreciated that. But even still, that wasn't when I got the first nod of like, oh, I'm really doing something big. I was just like, I'm just fanboying because Sega's talking to me. Holy crap, I still don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing the thing, right? It wasn't until this happened twice. I had like two epiphanies. The first one was at E3, my very first ever E3. Ironically enough, it was the same year. This is why Catherine plays a big part of my life, right? It was the year that Catherine was being debuted. On the front of that badge, you had a Catherine thing. On the back, it was Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I never forgot that.
Yeah.
I had it somewhere. It's just now I was looking back to see if I have it. It's probably upstairs. But that was my first time ever being there, and being there was a shock to me. I was on the microphone. I was talking to Ubisoft. I was talking to a lot of people because I was collaborating with Ubisoft at the time, which was insane, right? First E3 ever, and I'm there because I'm invited by Ubisoft, but I had time to do other things. And the thing that stopped me in my tracks was he was a black kid. Had to be 17, 18 years old. And he saw me outside the microphone doing an intro. He saw me with a production crew. Now, again, I'm used to it at this point. I've done it. I had my own team. I've been a part of other teams. I've done both sides, like the low end and the high end stuff. And it wasn't until that kid asked me, he was like, because to preface this, I was the nerd when I was young and I got bullied for it, for the most part. I'm not gonna fight, so you can only go so far bullying somebody that can fight at the time.
Right.
But it was like, still, I got picked on for being this kid that brought Halo to school, or, you know, I was just a big junkie. I had all the Super Nintendo games. I probably got the N64 games first. I still know the cheat for Turok's, the big cheat. I know the big cheat code by heart. I'm not gonna say it right now because I don't feel like being that nerdy, but you get what I'm saying. And that was frowned upon at that time. So for me to just blank out and forget about all that, because I'm not even around those type of people anymore. Here's this cool kid. He's cool. He's just cool kid. He's definitely got more sauce than I did at the time. Saying, hey man, I've been sitting here watching you do what you do, and it's the coolest thing in the world. How do I do something like that? It wasn't until then that I realized I was doing something in the first place. Because at that point, I was just talking.
Yeah.
Being loud. I told y'all. I'm on this camera right now to talk and be loud. And then we're gonna move in and I'm gonna play games. Two things I'm really good at. And then I told him, I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I never thought what I was doing was cool. It was just something I love to do. But I mean, I proceeded to tell him after that, but that was the first thing I said to my mind. And it just changed my perspective from that point on. Because mind you, I also come from the same school of Todd, I don't expect you to know these names, but like there's this whole esports world that's super big now. There's, you know, Seltzer Please and Golden Boy and all of those stuff. I was with them.
Yeah.
We're all the same crew. We were all in the same crew. And we did it together. And again, my intent was never to stand out. I just wanted to do the thing. And to get to that point where, all right, I'm doing stuff with Ubisoft often, Sega often. I'm talking to developers. I didn't even know that I thought games just, this is how like disconnected from gaming. I thought games just popped. I thought Sega made everything. I did. If it wasn't Sega, it was Nintendo. It's just, I didn't know about distribution. I didn't know about publishing, developers, any of that stuff. A game just appeared, and that was that on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until that person said that to me that I started to pay attention more to the peers around me, right? That was when I started doing more stuff with Bandai Namco and all these other places. I can name drop all day, but you get the point. I never forgot what that felt like, and I never realized that I was the only person in the space doing that. So I made sure every time I did that to make sure that I was accessible. Yeah. Because I don't care about being a superstar. That's fun, you know. Got a lot of VIP badges out of it. Woohoo! I'm too old for open bar now. I get dizzy when you mention it to me. But it's great to have the opportunity to pass that stuff on. Now knowing that there is such a big, vast group of people that want to do it. It's dope, and it's happening now. There's a lot more content creators out there doing their thing. I wasn't called a content creator at that time, which was dope. This is another thing that blew my mind. I was considered a media
personality.
I was media. It was great. Yeah, no, not just media personality. Because remember, I also brought I had a team. I would always either I would hit up people online and say, "Hey, I got a camera, I got equipment, let's go," or I would be able to source out an actual production team. So I got to say I got to say that I did media production as well. It was insane.
Yeah.
Because I have no college education.
That's dope.
And there's a lot of people that are just like me. They didn't go to school. They don't have access to all of that stuff. And here I am. That's dope to be a glimpse of hope for somebody like that. So yeah, I didn't know I was even doing that until somebody told me, "Hey, you doing that." And
you doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, you doing that. So it's like anytime I have resources, first thing I'll do is give it up.
Yeah.
I will give you the game. You just got to listen. If you don't want to, that's fine. I'll charge you later. But I'll give it to you for free first, always. Because I want everybody to do better. You know what I'm saying? If I have to repeat myself, I'm charging you. That's all I'm saying. I will do it for you for free if you listen to me. If I have to repeat myself, you have to pay. Because at this point, you're wasting my time.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's very fair.
It's cutthroat, but hey, I'm also going to give you the real world because I love everybody. You know, it's just the way I am.
Yeah.
Can you just say that whole thing you just said? Can you just say it one more time?
The whole thing. All right. No, I just saw a statue that I like too. Hold on, let me link it to you.
No, seriously, that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree. I hear.
yeah.
What about you, Audio? What was your?
What, I'm going after y'all? Nah,
My bad.
This is your choice. This is your choice.
I'm sorry right now. First and foremost, I'm like brand new to this. All right, I don't even.
It doesn't even have to be in the gaming space. It can be.
It won't be. It won't be because I am new. But just in my profession, I'm some background. I am an urban planner, a city planner, right? By trade, by profession. And for me, like the validation was first and foremost, I happened to fall into this position, into this role that I got into. I wanted to go into gaming, right? I did not really care about college. I was a smart kid, but like it was not like I really cared about classes to the point where by the time I had my first daughter, I was like, no, I need to go back to school. And I went for my AA and I only needed a class left after like 3 years, right? Like after 3 years of like dropping out, and it was like, oh no, you just needed one class to graduate. It was like, oh, really?
Damn.
Deal, right? Yeah. No. That real. Like, I didn't care. Like, I was just like, trying to be a rapper.
Yeah.
And I was doing well. Like, I did what I had to do, but I was like, nah, I gotta like go back to school and settle some things.
Oh, he muted himself.
The audio cut out.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
So, fast forward, I went back to college, go for my BA, and because of how my grades were, I couldn't necessarily get into the multimedia program at that specific university, but I could get into this urban planning thing. Go figure, right? Like I could see how to plan a whole city, but I can't like develop video games. Can't do that. So whatever. No, cool, fine. I looked at the coursework. The classes were in the same campus. I could probably take a couple of the same classes. Maybe I could still navigate my way into this video game thing. Whatever. Fast forward, graduate, and I had to get my internship. Still didn't do video games. I ended up doing this. Got my internship, and I started calling a lot of places. No one wanted to pick me up. I finally get an interview for my internship at ultimately where I'm located now, and I do my interview, and then they were like, they liked me or whatever. And then they said, and then they're like, oh, we'll call you. And I was like, oh no, that's fine. I'll come back on Monday and I'll start.
He
I
was
like
ready.
that.
Like, no, like, don't even worry, because I needed to graduate at this point. Like, I cannot, like,
Yeah.
everyone else is denying me. They're like,
I like
oh no, well, you can't come on Monday because Monday is Martin Luther King's Day. I was like, oh no, don't worry, then I'll come on Tuesday. So I came on Tuesday, and ultimately they really, really liked me. And by that summer, they're like, yo, we cannot not pay you. Like, we don't have anything available full time, but hey, we could start you on a part time. And that's when I realized, like, okay, maybe this might be something here. By the end of the year, I graduate. By the end of the year, I go for my interview because they finally get a position open. Long story short, I ended up working there entry level. Wasn't making much money. It was probably within the county, like I was making minimal. Everyone else were in other cities were making way more than me, but they liked me over here. So fine. But what validated me in my position today was my supervisor, who's my mentor. He pulled me aside one day and he was like, listen, I can't guarantee you, the pay you want at this moment, with the climate. But what I can guarantee is you're going to go far in this position with your work ethic. And he told me that my first year, he was like, you are an entry level. Your title is entry level, but you work as if you are management. He like, you help manage me.
Yeah,
and
that's
in
dope.
2 years time, like, I became an entry level, worked my way to becoming the chairperson of the development review committee in my city, and like it has been life changing, and yeah,
He flew past manager. Damn,
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
bro.
so
Sheesh.
it's
Oh my,
Yeah.
We'd love to see it.
that's godlike. I love that.
Yeah.
so
Wow.
that's what
Yeah.
validated me.
Congrats. Like, that's amazing.
That's huge.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's,
For real.
That's sick. I'm so
Yeah.
proud.
More grown folk tears. Let's go.
Yes. I'm almost even not wanting to talk about this next thing because we're just on such a high note.
Mm.
But it needs to
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
It's interesting because, all of us said kind of, we're all doing different things, right? But we all said one thing that was the same, which was we never meant for what we're doing to be what we're doing, right? Like, we just did what we loved, kind of, in a sense,
Mhm.
and now we're here.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of beautiful in a way, and like poetic. And I think that is, because, you get rejected or whatever, you're trying to do something that you wanted to do. I was trying to be, I went to film school. I wanted to be a filmmaker, so like I was trying to do that. So yeah, I mean, like you try and do these things that you want to do, and then you kind of fall into something that you were meant to do, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a beautiful thing. So
Yeah.
just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
And I think I respect all you guys. You guys are all great.
Yes.
You guys are all doing awesome.
Same.
So,
Thank you.
Yeah.
just want to say that. All right.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. I feel this is such a good segment. Sometimes we forget to pat ourselves on the back, so sometimes hearing it from other people is a good way to remember. Like, we did this thing. Yeah.
Therapeutic for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Definitely.
Switching gears to a different kind of therapeutic, more so just being informed of what's going on in the world. I just wanted to kind of give a moment to just say what happened. Obviously, there was a tragedy in our country recently. There's a shooting at a school in Uvalde, Texas, and Uvalde. And I don't have a lot to say on it that I haven't already said before. It just seems like our country, specifically our country, just has a lot of value in things that it shouldn't have. Yeah, I feel like we're here a lot. Uvalde, yeah, Uvalde. We're here too much, too often. We've seen this kind of tragedy strike time and time again, and I feel really frustrated as someone who sees statistically, death rates for children far exceeding other death rates in different categories. And just what a majority of Americans are actually wanting versus what's being pushed through legislation and through conversations with Congress, and even down to the situation with Roe v. Wade. Majority of Americans don't want that to be overturned. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I'll say this, without getting too big into politics or too deep into politics or anything like that. It does break my heart that our well-being is not the bottom line.
Correct.
I just get heartbroken. Sometimes we get those painful reminders, and it is to the point where, sadly, this happens so often. I don't want to say people are numb, but there's a latent sense of hopelessness. Because yes, we can pick up the phone and call someone. Our legislation, we can call ABC XYZ. It's hard to ignore the reality that we're seeing plain as day that our voices are being ignored, and I really hope that stops for all of our sake. Just because, if you read the history books, you know what happens next. It doesn't get prettier. It just doesn't. These were children. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. These are the top store in Rochester. I used to live in Rochester. It's a small place. Everyone's minding their business. To see something like that happen so casually, to see the repeated acts of things act so casually. And I'm a person that, it's been a while since I left the country, but I have a lot of friends outside of the country. And it breaks my heart that they keep asking me what's happening, and I can't explain it. All I can say is that we need help.
Yeah.
It's a heartbreaker that we don't have we put these people in power so that we can go about our days. Now we have to look over our shoulders because everybody's messed up right now. And it's just more than just politics and legislation and stuff like that. We need help.
Yeah.
This is why, on my platform, when I use my platform, if a guy's got to cry, please cry.
Please
don't grow up like I did where you got to hold emotions. And I don't do it anymore, but it's easier for me to default to that. And I'm a strong person. And I know the breakdowns that I've had. So to see other people have to go through them things, I don't want to have them without the opportunity to have their voices heard. Because you can see in the news right now that our voices are being snuffed out. Or not snuffed out, but just we're not being listened to.
Yeah.
And these are the results. I just want to take that approach at it, because I can talk about gun laws and yada yada and so on and so forth, but the biggest thing that breaks my heart is just the reality. And this is more than just again politics versus people. This happens with people versus people. I never liked the cancel culture. I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all, because my problem with it is it was imperfect people condemning imperfect people, but just beyond that. Something like that builds a great foundation for learning how to listen to others and really, really do something about it. But we've gone right back to the Salem witch trials.
Basically. Right.
And that scares me, because the same thing that we want our officials to do is the same thing we need to do for each other, which is listen. We gotta listen. We gotta come together. I don't have the answers. I'm not saying I have the answers, but just knowing that there's voices out there that need to be heard and they're not being heard. And then things like this keep happening. And we continue to talk and say that we don't want this to happen. We want this to happen.
But then we don't do anything
so that
about
this
it.
doesn't happen and nothing happens.
Mhm.
Nothing happens.
The worst thing that can happen, like you would think someone doing something different is bad, but someone doing nothing is way worse.
Yeah.
And that's just where we are right now. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. I pray we get it together. I pray we get it together before it's too late. That's the big thing.
I wonder if it's too late some often. Because
again, I mean, whether we're here or not, a big reset will happen. But it doesn't, it's just, I guess it's human nature where we always take precautions when something breaks, but we don't take precautions. We react when something happens,
Right.
not precautionary. We don't prevent anything. We react to things. I don't know. And I'm not going to front. Again, I'm going back to video games for a second, but thank the heavens I got good at competitive gaming, because the only reason why I was able to win half the time is because I took more preventative measures than reacted. If you spend all times reacting all day, you're just gonna get mixed up.
That's true. It's a really good analogy.
I'm gonna just keep it real. If you spend too much time reacting, as soon as you have to react to something, it might already be too late.
That's true.
Exactly.
Which is the big point I'm trying to get at. So yeah, like if you can set up a situation where it doesn't happen, you don't have too much things to worry about. You get to control, you get to do things within your parameters. You're not really going to lose that often because you're in control. What can go bad won't go bad because you know it can go that way, but you're already prepped.
You're already ready. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. And that's my rant. But I mean, I pray. I want to get back to us loving each other at some point. It happened. I don't know if it was because of the weed in the 60s or the LSD. I don't know what the hell it was.
Or weed. We definitely need that.
Yeah, jokes aside, but no, for real, man. But like, again, progress won't be made if we don't try to work together. Communication, in my opinion, is at an all-time low.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart. Breaks my heart.
Yeah. I agree, and it's the same thing even with COVID. It's like you have to think of like the stem of everything. Obviously the stem isn't COVID, but that's the stem of where we are now, right?
Yeah.
Like we knew there could be a pandemic. We've known that. The whole world has known that for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And I think in the 2008, 2006, doesn't matter. We knew, right? And what did we do? We didn't take measures to prevent it, and it happened, right? And then we reacted, and the reaction was very poor.
Yeah.
What can you do? You kind of shuffled around. Oh, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And now look where we are. Now we have super super conservative kind of things happening that don't really like everyone has said, where the majority of the population of the United States does not agree with. They are pushing legislation through that the majority of the population does not agree with. So
right,
there is a disconnect. Why is that being pushed through when the majority of the population feels one way, yet the legislation is acting in the opposite way?
Right.
With gun rights, with Roe, whatever there's a lot of things.
There's a lot of things, right? Yeah. Fucking student
that screams to me that the issue is it's not about listening, it's just about like the control, who has the control. And it's been, I think, in the works for a long time, not to get too conspiratorial, but like it's been in the works for a long time to get to where we are. When you think about Roe, when you think about what's happening now, when time after time there are mass shootings of children, like And this is not the first time.
No.
And not
by
to
a
mention,
long
like,
shot.
literally in this, like, last month, there was like a shooting like every single day. You know, obviously when
I remember that.
it's like, what's going on? And again, if you just walk down the street and you ask the common person, do you like what's happening? No. What do you think should be done? Oh, maybe we should make it harder for like someone to like access this type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
The like 99% of people would say that, right? So then why is it that the people in power are not listening to, you know, who they're supposed to represent, right?
Right.
Us. They're not. They aren't listening because they do not care, because it is, again, it's the lobby. It's all about lobby.
It's all about
So
It
the
is.
gun lobby, they make a lot of money because
Yep.
people are buying guns, especially
Yep.
in COVID. People bought a shit ton of guns.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
some-
French.
That's
Even
crazy.
no, please. Yeah, even with the
Um,
rising prices of ammunition, like
Right.
it costs a lot more than it used to, and like I
Right.
would prefer it not to, but at the same time, like
Right.
when does
And again, like I, you know, if you own a gun, that's fine. I don't care, you know, like, but there should be some sort of system, like an 18-year-old just going to buy assault weapons out of nowhere. Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like,
Yeah,
that's
no.
just, it's common sense, man. Like, come on.
yeah,
Like, that is just heartbreaking and depressing, and it doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And not to mention, gun laws have gone back to like the beginning of this country. Like, literally, if you go back and actually think, like, when you would go into town in like the 1700s in like the Wild West, you'd have to surrender your guns.
right.
So like the actual, like, this new kind of like you know, the lift on the ban on assault rifles in like 2008, that's a
Mhm.
new thing. Again, gun lobby. That's
Yeah.
just gun lobby. And
Mm.
it's literally
Deep in the
people that
pockets.
sell guns, like, yeah, giving other people, politicians, money to say, hey, loosen this legislation a little bit so we can make a little more money. Like, that's what it is. It's just money.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's like really it's disgusting,
hmm
you know. And
Mhm.
it's disgusting. It's gross. And I, you know, obviously you know, I live in America, but I'm also disgusted with a lot of things that are happening, especially in 2022 when
When we
these
know
things should
better.
not be happening.
Yeah.
We know better, you know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's my take. I don't know.
No, I feel like many of the people in this community already know my stance on this stuff, so it's really important to know that there's other stances out there as well. But I think even if there was someone here who was like devout, like, I believe every American should own a gun, like, I think even that person can look at this and be like, they should own
It's
a
not-
gun if like the parameters are met, where
Yeah.
like
It's not about owning a gun or not owning a gun. It's not about
it's
that.
about being responsible.
It's about yeah.
and like
Like,
wouldn't-
when you have like something that can inflict damage, like literally murder people, a lot of people, there has to be some sort of you know, there has to be some sort of protocol where you make sure, okay, you want to buy like an assault rifle?
why?
Just ask a few. Yeah, first of all, ask why, but ask a few. You can ask a few questions, like, why do you want to buy this? Oh, okay, you want to go out shooting? That's cool. And then ask them a few other questions. You know, like, it doesn't have to be like, take all the guns away or whatever. You know, like, that's what because that's what people do. They're like, oh, now people, like, some people were probably upset about this for the wrong reasons, and
Right.
being like, now they're gonna try and take the guns. You know,
Right.
and it's like, dude, yeah, we're gonna try and take the guns because look what happened and look what keeps happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, again, it's just like really heartbreaking, and it seems like there's no common sense when it comes, like, again, it's reactionary
yeah.
when you could be preventative, and that's kind of what, in my opinion, needs to be kind of discussed.
Yeah.
Again,
at
it
the
has to be
very
discussed
least.
by
Yeah.
the people in power, which, let's face it, I don't have a lot of hope in. So
Surprise, surprise.
I
I
don't
don't really do anything about it.
yeah, sad.
Yeah, it's, I used to work at the Apple store, and one of the things that they taught us as part of our basic training was was to probe people about what it is that they wanted to get at the Apple Store, right? They come in, they say, hey, I'm here just browsing, taking a look at, a computer for my son. Great. Yo, that's awesome to hear that your son is about to go to college, blah, blah, blah. What kind of stuff are they doing? And this isn't necessarily to like get a full comprehensive background on the person's profile, but more so to be like, all right, let's hone in and figure out how we can best serve you. And in doing so, I can learn, hey, this person wants to go to college for music production, not necessarily to just write a bunch of reports. Well, they're going to need this, that, and the third to be effective at what they're doing. We can get you set up here. If you want to open up a credit card with Barclay, we can do that with you. They just have to do this basic check, make sure there's nothing crazy going on with you, and you can be on your way. Like, people have to get a check, like a background check, essentially, to buy a computer with a new credit line. Like, it is a computer.
Yeah, you're at the Apple Store.
Yeah,
you're at the friggin' Apple Store, dude.
Yeah,
it's like when you go to Red Robin and you want a burger, they ask you what kind of burger do you want. Do you want to add? It's the same shit. Like,
yeah.
You just ask a few questions.
Yeah,
and then if someone says something sketchy, you're like, dude, I'm not going to sell you this.
To like choke my grandma in her sleep. Like, wait.
I'm not going to sell you this burger then, bud.
Yeah.
Your grandma's allergic to pickles? We're not giving her extra pickles. Okay, buddy? Like,
that's not happening.
Yeah. So, I mean, totally. I mean, that's such a good analogy. 100%. A few questions could possibly prevent something like this. Right. Just a few questions.
It won't always, but it's something.
Yeah. It won't always. No, you need something. You need to have something.
You need something. Yeah.
You
need something, man. Like, we have nothing. We have nothing.
Yeah.
So you can't. Children dying is not okay, man. Like, no one dying. No one dying is okay.
But especially,
come on,
children, man.
Yeah.
That's. Think about going to school. Like when you're a kid in elementary school, think about having to think about. I never had to think about it.
Right. Same.
And I can't even imagine
the kids
myself.
who survived. And the kids who survived.
Yeah.
Right. PTSD, literally, they are.
I go back to school. That shit. No, I'm cool.
Yeah. Like, damn, dude. Like,
we just got out of
grade
lockdown.
School kids, man. I got elementary school kids.
Yeah,
so
you have kids.
Like, me to sit here and be like, yo, like. It was very heartbreaking to hear how all of it transpired and to hear that, like, and not to be graphic or anything, but like the parents had to get swabbed to figure out who their kids were.
Mm-hmm.
What? I didn't even know that.
They couldn't identify the children. To hear assault rifles on first, second, third, fourth graders.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I'm at that. I've always been of the opinion, like I've shot assault rifles before. I've shot pistols. I've shot a Desert Eagle before. Like, I've shot many different types of guns before, and I do believe in home defense, right? Having a handgun in the home, if that's your prerogative to do that, fine.
My man, I'm not selling kilos.
I don't need
I'm not Tony Montana.
Right, we don't need a Tommy gun.
Do I want it? Sure. Great. What? Yeah. But if me wanting that assault rifle means the probability that would be used as a weapon to kill a whole bunch of people, I don't need it that bad. And nobody needs it that bad. And that's my thing.
Who's coming for you? What I get home defense.
Right.
I get it. But who's coming?
You got to piss somebody off that you need an
What
AR.
is the fucking
who's coming for you?
Who's coming for you?
Right.
If it's the government coming for you, they are not going to just use regular men to come get you.
First and foremost, the government really wanted you that bad, dog.
You'd be dead.
Yeah, they got you.
You'd be dead.
Yeah, they got
at the local Chipotle. You'd be gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
You get what I'm
They'll
saying?
wait till the opportune moment. They will get you at Chipotle. They will
Yeah.
get, they'll be in one of those trucks, those like cable TV trucks or whatever. They'll pop out. They're not even going to use assault rifles. They wouldn't even use. They'll get you other ways.
They
You know
got
what I mean?
drones, bro.
Exactly.
Sniper
It ain't
rifle. Like,
nothing.
come on,
It's
man.
nothing.
It's
Nothing. So for me to sit here and be like, yeah, no, I need, first and foremost, why do you need 2 ARs? You could only carry like what you like really? You don't have no good balance on 2 ARs.
Yeah, those are heavy.
Right.
No, seriously, you don't have AR is not no light. You don't have no balance. Why do you need 2?
You couldn't
Let
even
alone
hold.
one.
You couldn't even hold 2. Yeah, you be up
Exactly.
here.
Yeah.
Fall out,
Let
fall
alone
back, shoot
let
that
alone
bitch.
1.
Yeah.
So it's people are like, oh well, I go hunting. AR? You know how many bullets you got to take out of a hog? What are you doing?
Right. If you're not shooting it that
Really,
many
what are you
times,
doing?
That's
You
unfunny.
don't need it. You
Yeah.
don't. I'm sorry. You just don't.
So it's just for me. I'm tired
yeah,
as well.
yeah,
I'm tired because now and it's getting more aggressive, right? Because it was just the ARs, right? Like it was just they have these assault rifles and usually they could take them down or whatever. But now they have the assault rifles and the tactical vests and the tactical gear. So you hear the thing in Buffalo, and you hear the security guard doing first and foremost doing above and beyond his job. Let's be honest about it.
He's not supposed to go to war. That's not his job.
Yeah.
Going to protect people,
Yeah.
and bullets are bouncing off this kid.
Yeah. Damn.
So
Yeah.
at this point, what are we doing?
Right. Agree.
you just kind of let it spiral into where it is now, and that's how we got here.
It's tiring, and I don't know the answers, right? Like I don't have the answers. I do feel though our government is being left unchecked and has been left unchecked for so long, and I don't know what to do. I want to ask how can I help at this point, because every time this does happen, unfortunately, it's the parents who have to bury their kids, and then they're the first ones advocating or trying to also get things going. And I feel bad because now I'm realizing, like, what more can I do to help?
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't have to not only bury family members, but be the ones who are advocating as well.
Yeah.
Right. And that's how we get more advocators. Because as a self-reflection for myself, I know I'm not doing it. You know,
But at the same time,
know.
it's not
Same.
it's not
I
on
mean,
it's not on you to be that. It is, but it isn't.
But it might be. But it might be
at this
at
point.
this point.
At this point,
At
It might
this
be.
point,
Yeah. That's
be.
the problem.
yeah.
I mean,
Right?
It shouldn't have to.
what's interesting to me is generally what happens when there is something like this where the majority of the population, there's sort of like an uprising. They give the majority of the population something. They give them like a little bit to calm them down, right?
Yeah.
They've done it with a lot of different things over the years. But in the last 10 years, it seems like they don't even give you that. And then what happens is, like, you have a movement, you have kind of a revolution starting, and then it kind of fizzles out.
Right.
They wait for it to fizzle out because they know it'll fizzle out.
Yeah.
They don't even give us anything. They don't give us like a small like law or a small reform or anything. They don't give us anything.
Yeah,
Just thoughts and prayers.
that's
Thoughts
it.
and prayers, right? So
I'm
like
tired.
that to me is very interesting because they're even they as in legislation, whatever you want to say, the higher ups, they are even like it's all just kind of just bullshit and they're gonna like fizzle out.
I mean,
Just
at,
sad.
at the end of the day, and the reason why I say it might be is because let's be honest, right? Like, it's not like we're saying, yo, I voted, do your job, right? And the NRA is saying, the NRA is not saying I paid you, do your job. The NRA is paying them. They're taking them out to lunch. The NRA is working with them 12 months out of the year.
Oh, for sure. It's the lobby, dude.
Right. And so that's why I'm like, I think I need to be doing more. I think we need to be doing more, but I have to do my self-reflection on what can I do? Like, I understand it's not going to be an overnight thing. I can't expect it to be, yo, in November, because that's what everyone is saying right now, right? Like in November.
It's always in
And
November.
after in November, we just go back to the same thing, and it's like until the next hot button topic happens,
Right.
and it's like it's always a hot button topic or a tragedy. That's the only times we're really like going through this, and it's like I think we got to be doing more because we can't leave them unchecked anymore.
Yeah.
We can't.
There has to be a movement. The thing is, you can't vote Supreme Court justices.
Right, which is such a flawed system.
Yeah. So, I mean,
we can't vote for issues. We can't vote for Supreme Court.
It's right. It's the system, and like literally at this point, there has to be some kind of revolution. Like there has to be. I don't know what that entails, but to change, because look what's happening. We are literally going back in time.
Yeah.
We're like this is the time travel. It's not the time travel we want, but it's the time travel we're getting, which is shit.
Right.
So
right.
And it's very weird, and there has to be some sort of movement from the ground up, from like the citizens of the United States,
The people
and obviously
actually living in the country.
Obviously, it's easier than, and I'm guilty.
Sure, of course,
I'm as guilty as anyone else of not doing my part. But I mean, I think it requires people to do something, like protest, blah blah blah, et cetera, grassroots.
Right, and it's not like I said,
that's hard.
It is self-reflection, right? Like, and it's just, I think it's been not that I don't care, but
I mean,
I have my own life. Everyone has their own life.
That's the biggest part. Yeah, you got
right,
man.
And we've just been so self-absolved in and not even absolved, but like we've been so, hey, these are my friends, this is my family, like this is my life, like so
me.
You think, hey, if I vote, they'll do their job. But like I'm literally, as I've been watching the news and been thinking about things, and I'm realizing, like, as a person who has a voter's registration card, who says I have to elect an official, right, with a resume, as a person who we don't hire someone and say, go do your job. Like no business owner is going to be like, oh yeah, I hired you, go do your job. Right.
It's expected.
But that's what we do with elected officials, right? No person is, and I'm not saying, and I get it, like, yo, you may never see your U.S. representative, or you could contact your U.S. rep and they may never answer, but like there's a hierarchy, and it does start from the ground up. It does start from your council members. It does start from your mayor and things like that. And you may have to work our way up, and I don't think it's something that's going to happen overnight, but I think it's something that happens over time.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like for me, I have to figure out, and I have anxiety. Like, listen, for the past 2 days, I'm like, yo, like, I have to contact someone. Like, I have to contact my counsel person. Like, what more do I need to do to understand how to help make change? Because I can't sit here. I can no longer sit here and say, yo, I voted, do your job.
Yeah.
Because obviously you're not capable enough
Right.
to just go out on your own. Obviously, I have to be a person that is now more self-aware and say, hey, you know, we put you in this position. This is what we want to see happen. Right? Who else? Who, you know, I have these friends in this district, with this representative. Let's communicate and let's have you talk to that representative. They also feel the same way. Like I had to have that self-reflection and say, like, we need to kind of do more. Or at least I need to kind of do more, because I was watching the news and I understood, and I had to change, like, to say we're not doing anything. At a federal level, not a lot of stuff is happening. But like after Sandy Hook, those parents pushed to make legislation happen in that state, in Connecticut, right? And some of it, you know, got rolled back, but some of it is still in effect. Some of it happened in Florida when the thing in Parkland happened, right? Like, that's 15 minutes away from me, right? And it was the parents who had to bury their kids and then go back and be advocates. And I'm like, is that fair to them that they're the ones that not only have to bury their kids and go back to work and be advocates?
Right. Bills don't care if you're grieving for your lost child.
So, and I'm over here, and I get it. Like, and I'm over here like, oh, well, you know, and not to say like, oh, well, it didn't happen to me, but like, I feel like that's how I'm starting to act.
And that's how they want us to act, honestly.
Some subconsciously, not like consciously, but like, I feel bad for these parents, because I understand, like, yo, like, not for nothing, dog. Like, oh, I feel bad for, like, just to go to a grocery store, dog. Like, my cousins and aunts live in New York. For me to sit here and be like, yo, like, or my mom loves to go to church, and like, for me to see a church get shot, and it's like,
yeah,
when am I becoming that numb where it's like grieving, and then, oh, what's my favorite console? Who's twerking online?
Right.
What's the national basketball team? Who's gonna win this year? You know what I mean? Like, am I coming to that point where it's like, scroll up, like, oh, anime titties?
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
always anime titties, but yes, I get it.
No, but you know what I mean?
I got you.
Like,
I feel you on that. No, I get you.
Like, I feel like I've come to a point where, like, even with the streaming stuff, like, I do think for myself, I think it's my starting base. I'm noticing is I have to be more knowledgeable at policies in the political realm.
Yeah. We all do, honestly. We all just need to be more involved on a local level, because
that's the sad part. That's the real sad part. We have to be involved now.
Yeah.
Because they'll find any way to sneak something past us.
Yeah.
That part.
I mean, I like,
ain't that a heartbreaker? Like, damn, I don't want to care about politics. I don't like politics. I hate it. I'll be honest with you. I think it's
right.
On a surface level, it's the most boring shit in the world.
Right.
On a more detailed level, it's the most childish shit in the world.
Yeah.
I watch so much back and forth and bickering, and you know my biggest peeve about politics is nobody answers anyone's questions.
Right.
If I ask you what 1 + 1 is, don't start telling me about astrology, bitch. I said what's 1 + 1.
Yeah.
That is the bit, and honestly, there's so much misdirection and disconnects, and
they don't want to say this thing without saying this thing, and this. It's like, bro,
Right.
just like,
and all it did, and this was, and we saw the explosion really happen in 2016 to 2020 when that presidency happened.
honestly,
There's no trust.
yeah,
Yeah.
There's no trust. The trust got completely thrown out of the window, and now we have to look over our shoulders. And then one thing I'll say, and then I got it's almost midnight, so I mean it's past midnight, so I got to get off. But
yeah, we gotta go.
the biggest issue I have with all of that stuff is just the reality that there's so much shit. I mean, we're talking about scrolling the timeline and seeing a bunch of other stuff, but I think the most scary part is we have to scroll the timeline and be a rebel for a new thing every week.
Mm-hmm.
If a black person ain't getting shot, but a kid is getting shot. If a kid ain't getting shot, a church is getting shot. If a church ain't getting shot, women are getting robbed. If women ain't getting robbed, Mexicans is getting robbed. It's always something. And I haven't done the fun type of content I like to do because I have to spend so much time sharing resources and giving stuff. You start to almost feel bad for having a good time. Like, oh, I'm feeling good today. I'm so afraid to feel good today.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I'm not allowed to because the world is on fire.
Yeah.
And you can only be so many places at one time. That's the point I was trying to get to. And that's really the sad part. Because, yeah, it's a never-ending spiral of shit happening. And it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's a catch-22. You try to pay attention to some of it. You miss these things over here. Well, what have you done? I said, well, I'm doing stuff. But new fucked up things keep happening.
Right. There is a war in Ukraine still going on. By the way.
Yeah. A new virus just kicked off.
Don't talk about that.
More guns is getting around. The Roe v. Wade shit is still going on.
Yeah.
It's a heartbreaker. And then there's nuances. Like, I mean, admittedly, I do care a little bit about the Amber Heard thing and the Johnny Depp thing. Now, I don't, and only because I do want a little bit more light to be shined on the reality that men
get abused too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's really it. Other than that, I don't care like about the celebrity side. I more so care about the advocacy of men's mental health as well. Because we dodge that shit all the time.
All the time.
But there's so much stuff.
Yeah.
God damn, I do want to see anime titties sometimes. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Always.
No, I get it.
And I'm just saying that. I'm saying it like that because I'm saying we do a lot. And it is us doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people that we put in power to do we're literally watching them in real time act like a bunch of children.
Right.
And that's heartbreaking. I don't want to feel like my political leaders are toddlers. Answer my question.
Yeah.
Who left the milk out of the fridge? You don't have to start telling me about how cows were raised. Was it you, little kid? And then let's resolve the problem. Put the milk back in the fridge and let's it spoil and throw that bitch out. Like,
yeah. We can move on if y'all actually just start addressing the things that we ask you to address.
We might actually vote for you. You don't have to rely on the NRA. We'll give you our money. There's probably more of us than there is an NRA. I'm just saying. I don't know.
We are already paying them, though. That's the crazy part. Our tax dollars are going to ensure that they can keep doing all this bullshit.
Yeah, but you can't buy a big house with $2 trillion. You need $10 trillion. I guess. But it'd be like that sometimes. That's that on that. That's all I got, bro.
Yeah. I've taken you all's time for way too long. This was supposed to be like an hour and 45-minute podcast.
It's been 3 hours, y'all.
It's been a lot longer than that.
You're right.
Todd, where can people go to find your shop?
Specfictionshop.com. SPECFICTION shop.com.
Yeah, collect some big ass beautiful statues, not guns. Do that. They cost the same shit.
Listen. He's not wrong.
Get them. Great. They got a my one? Never mind.
They do.
No.
Shidosha. Tell people.
You already put it.
Twitch.tv/Shidosha. You'll see me in the streets of Vegas acting a fool. Just go to Evo. I promise you. Don't worry about it. All right. That's me.
The audio lover. What about you?
You can find me on.
It doesn't even matter anymore.
I'm about to listen. I'm about to.
You guys about anything? Doesn't matter.
YouTube, Twitter, Twitch at the Audio Lover. I don't know, at the Audio Lover.
All right.
Have a great night.
On everything. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
On everything. Everyone, it has been my pleasure to bring this podcast episode to you all. I hope you all enjoy the new format of talking about much more than just gaming. Todd, thank you again for your time.
Thank you guys. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you know.
I learned a lot.
Yes.
Sure thing.
I learned a hell of a
I
lot.
enjoy talking about other things than,
Statues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
I enjoy that. Real convos. So
Hell
Yeah.
thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course. And anytime we're if you want to be on the show again, I'm happy to have you on. You were great. We'll try to keep it to the time that we said on the thing next time.
As long as there's more political conversation, I'll be here.
Okay. I got you. With that said, I'm going to BRB, but I'm going to let them head out for the night. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time, for your energy.
Thank you.
And,
Good night.